Hello everyone and welcome to the Reign of Emrys here on Dork Tales. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's Friday night. I'm feeling a little overheated, to be honest, because we're in the middle of heat wave number 2 up in the Pacific Northwest. But feeling pretty good other than that. I am Kelly. I'm your Dungeon Master. I use he and him pronouns. And tonight we are going to be delving into the depths of the ancient ruins known as Vex Nergali here on the Reign of Emrys. But before that, we're going to have to introduce our cast and do this whole thing that we always do. So real quick, some fun announcements. Tomorrow night is the night. So if those of you who are aware, tomorrow night is the first game of our new Mage the Ascension Chronicle over on Twitch, and will be up on YouTube probably on Monday. So you definitely should come and check that out. And if you're watching Rime of the Frostmaiden, be sure to catch the next 2 episodes, because that's probably it. It's gonna be done. And Reign of Emrys is approaching the end of its second act, which we will see how that goes in the next couple of episodes. So that's the quick announcements for this period. I am going to go ahead and pass the ball over to Amy for hellos.
Oh, to me? Okay.
To you.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I use she, her, or they, them pronouns, and I am playing Leiden and Merov, the ASMR Cleric of the Grave.
Nice. All right, who you passing to?
Something? Well, I'm gonna pass it over to... I'll pass it to Christine. Just pass it back.
Hey, hello. I'm Christine, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Claudette Belmont tonight, our human blade singing wizard.
Nice.
Let's throw it over to Caitlin.
Hello, I'm Caitlin. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I'll be playing Telfrin, our barbarian of wild magic. And I'm super excited to be doing this again. Let's go. All right, I will pass it over to Robin, I think.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I use she, they pronouns, and tonight I am playing Ivy, our tiefling blood hunter, Order of the Mutant, who totally is. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. Last episode was totally fine. Normal.
You're fine.
It's great. And finally, Mike.
Hey everyone, talking about episodes that were just fine. Last episode was certainly a thing that happened to us. That was great. But moving forward, my name is Mike. I use they, them pronouns, and tonight I am playing our lovely little somewhat sociopathic halfling artificer arterialist, Veritrix Soulstar.
That's true.
I don't feel like it's news that you play sociopathic characters.
Yeah.
I mean, Katarina's not. Xeno's not.
Sure about Xeno.
Xeno is just
Xeno-
emotionally immature.
And a rich boy, which means that he's
yeah.
probably a bit of a sociopath.
But he actually really cares about everybody else.
Oh, that's true. He's just...
He just doesn't know how to show it.
Okay.
And I mean, Katarina genuinely cares about everybody else in her group, and the people of Icewind Dale as a whole. Actually,
No, you don't.
She's come to really care about them.
Okay, sure.
But
just Trovis.
Trovis is he's so good.
All right, so folks, anything that you need to know before we hop in tonight? I don't think there is really, but I'm gonna use this opportunity to have a drink of water because it's warm.
Yes, it is
very hot up here.
Yeah, it's very warm.
For anyone wondering why I am not dressed up as my usual, it is because my streaming area right now is over 30 degrees.
That's in
Disgusting.
Celsius, Americans.
Yes.
That's like 90-ish for those of you in Fahrenheit land. It's not a place you want to be sitting in like a chair, really. We were just refinishing the deck outside of my streaming office, and the living room, and today was the first day that the asbestos has been removed, so we have not been able to have the windows open for 4 days, and I have a breeze on me, and it's like the nicest thing, so I'm feeling pretty great.
Well, that's great that you got that for game, because that would have been brutal tonight.
Yeah, especially for tomorrow with the Victorian costumes, which hopefully my vest will arrive finally. But folks, enough about that. We'll talk more about this on our break. yeah, I think it's just probably time to get into Reign of Emrys here on Dork Tales. When last we left you, you had survived an attack near Kazluxia, the fallen fortress on the western coast of Emrys. As you flew over it in the Maiden's Lament, looking for any sign of Claudette's brother or any survivors, you found them. But they weren't the survivors on the side you'd hoped. Cadoganian soldiers had swarmed across the water, seized the tower, razed most of it to the ground, and were celebrating in the ruins of what was one of the greatest symbols of their oppression. As you proceeded northwards, towards Vex Nergali, you were attacked. 2 of Ivy's sisters assaulted you on the bridge of the ship, along with some strange creatures that I believe Claudette was able to identify as Starspawn. After a heated battle, including some deaths and resurrections, and some very strange magic, you all managed to pull yourselves together, succeed, and not crash in the ship. When it was all said and done, you continued forward towards Vex Nergali, which is about where we're going to start, with you on final approach. Now, it's been about another 10 hours, so all of you can heal up, pick your spells. You've had a long rest. Yes.
And that means that my level of exhaustion that I had is probably gone?
A level of exhaustion goes away, I believe, every 2 days.
Is it? Okay, I have one level of exhaustion listed here from...
Let me double check.
That's a good question. Good thing to double check.
It's under conditions, and I believe it's every 2 days of rest that it goes away. Or I believe you can cast... and double check that it's lesser or greater restoration.
I think it's greater.
Is it greater for that? Because it's a big one.
Exhaustion's a bitch.
It really is.
Exhaustion's gross.
And it doesn't really show up in standard play very often.
Yeah, so we were... I originally had 3 ranks of exhaustion when we left the core mines.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had me back up finally clear, so we had to have been with them long enough that was healed, because now I have 1 rank of exhaustion.
Exhaustion, let's see.
But I don't know if that was temporary.
Oh no, finishing a long rest does reduce it by 1.
By 1, okay.
Yep.
If you have more than 1 rank, it gets rough.
Yes.
I wish finishing a long rest in real life healed a level of exhaustion.
I mean, it does. You just actually have to rest.
Crap,
Yeah,
I knew I'm
right?
forgetting something.
Yeah. Means put down the phone. I am so excited for my vacation coming up because I'm just going to read. Like, I have a stack of books, taller than this monitor can show. And I'm very, very excited. All right. So, your final approach is coming to Vex Nergali. An ancient ruin embedded in the north of what is now the Emrysian Empire, but prior to that was, well, its own country. Not that long ago, within the past hundred and some years, this area that you're approaching right now was Eldare, which is actually where Leiden's from. Hanborough is not that far away from Vex Nergali. In fact, many people who settled there used to admire the old architecture in the surrounding mountainside and clefts and ravines. It wasn't until about 100 years ago that the actual ruin site was found. And there, who knows? Anyone who'd like to can make me a history roll to see if you've heard anything about this location.
I would love to.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I got a 3.
Good. 21 for
It's not
Ivy.
in my tray.
Oh, wait,
but
I
it's a
actually-
16.
I add 5
15.
to that.
So you have an 8. All right.
I have
so,
an 8.
All right, so you know that it's in Eldare. All right. So you 22, 23, something like that?
21, yeah.
21? All right. What was that, Amy?
16. It ended up rolling outside of my tray by accident, so it was clattery. But 16.
Okay. And Christine, did you roll?
Yeah, it was a 15.
15? And Amy, I'm sorry. What was yours again?
16.
16. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was 16 or 20 for some reason. I don't know why my brain scrambled. It's been very hot today. So, you and Claudette both know that Vex Nergali is an ancient ruin that is under Imperial control. Whatever magics were inside, or whatever relics existed, were seized when the Empire took over Aldare some time ago. And as they did, it was basically labeled as a curiosity more than anything. And set aside for future excavation, but listed as a site of some interest, but honestly nothing worth even trying to bring in tourism to the area. It's just a curiosity, something that you would have come across in your studies. However, Ivy, you have heard through your readings. Are you actually proficient in history?
Yes.
Okay. So with your studies, you would have learned that Vex Nergali is a temple of some kind. Ancient, from before the Emrysians actually came to Emrys. From before human settlement flourished across this area in the same way that it has for the past, how many thousand years at this point. You know that it's guarded, or at the very least warded off, and potentially has quite a bit of danger inside of it. Although the relics and anything of value was stripped away several decades ago. And many of its artifacts can be found in museums. In fact, actually, quite a few artifacts from Vex Nergali and the other Vex, which is located over in Cyrene, Vex Dantis. Both of them have a number of artifacts that are in the capital that you've actually seen. Magical and otherwise. Vex is an old Emrysian word that literally translates as ruin. And so this roughly translates as the ruin under the earth. This is what you would know. And I'll say, Claudette, you know that because of your linguistic background. So, Vex Dantis means the ruin under the sea, largely, or the ruin of the sea. But Vex Nergali is the ruin under the earth. And with that, you are on final approach. You'll be there in about 15 minutes. The sound of the engines are pulsing and throbbing. You are inside of the Maiden's Lament now, making your final preparations for this. Ivy, you and Leiden are discussing something, though, if I'm not mistaken. What would that be? Preparing a message?
Wanted me to do a sending to Dork.
All right.
So,
Here, this is what I want. You said there's a maximum of 25 of words, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't use it too much, but yeah.
All right. Here, and she'll scribble some words and then cross it out and scribble. So, but then she'll like push the thing up, give her the piece of paper with the.
Take it and read it and go. Aw. Yeah. It's not gonna be weird that I'm saying this.
I mean,
I know you said it's
maybe.
from Ivy, but okay, fine.
Yeah.
Leiden's gonna send off this message, which I believe was, it's Ivy. Want to see if you are safe. We are going to Vex Nergali. I miss you. Stay hidden. You can reply. Is what Leiden fires off into the space of spelldom.
All right, so saying that into the air.
Mm-hmm.
There's a brief moment where all you can hear is the sound of the engine, and then some squawking outside as some birds, high-flying ones, fly by the side and honk. Hello? You'll hear in your ear. Is do I just talk, or is there... Wait. Leiden? Is Ivy okay? I'm okay. I'm on my way back to... That's 25.
Well, he's okay,
Oh, good.
but he tripped over his words too much. I don't know where he's actually going.
He's going somewhere, though.
Back to somewhere. Sorry, that's all I got.
It's okay. I guess maybe no one's familiar. I guess we're all not familiar with how this works. But he's okay, so I guess that's
Didn't sound captured, so
good.
I hope.
Well, maybe when we're done this, if you're feeling up to it, like after maybe in a day or two, we can send him another message to get more clarification.
Yeah, let's deal with this first. And
Yeah.
Lynn's gonna reach out and put like a hand on Ivy's shoulder and just be like, it'll be okay.
You can see that she's quite worried, and she kind of like, as you put your hand on her shoulder, her shoulder just kind of like collapse a little bit, and she's gonna kind of like feel like let out kind of like a big sigh. Like you can see that she's obviously been like holding some worry in her shoulders, and she kind of just like lets it out there.
Ivy, and she's actually just gonna hug Ivy and be like, it's okay. He's smart. He seems like a charming kind of cockroach. He's like, I don't think anything could kill him.
I hope so.
He'll be fine.
He's a nice cockroach.
Yeah, he's resilient.
I hope so.
Okay.
Through the pipe system inside, you're going to hear, incoming, on final approach. We're going to be landing shortly. What do you all do?
Lynn's probably gonna head up to the deck, if that's okay,
Claudette will finish
they
whatever
arrive?
she's writing.
Okay, sounds good. Very, you'll be able to finish reassembling Crux if you wish.
Yay!
Okay, so your little mechanical bunny with a slightly different paint job is going to be back. Crux Mark 6.
Yay, I'm so happy.
All right. Talfrin, you will have finished polishing off your new sword, getting everything ready.
Yeah, looking at it, figuring out the heck I got. Looks like it's got a little slot or something.
It does, and you have one of those slots, I believe. You have the ice cartridge, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have the fire cartridge?
No, I don't have any cartridge.
Ah,
That was
okay.
Ivy.
Ivy has the ice one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And with that, where you gather up on deck, you will begin your approach. Lowering down into this deep, it's more of a canyon than anything. This wide, sweeping lightning bolt cut into the earth, hundreds and hundreds of feet deep. So deep, in fact, that it's dark at the bottom. The way that the canyon cuts from water formation, earthquakes, it's hard to tell at this height, but it wasn't a clean erosion. But it's large, enough that the Maine's Lament can slowly lower itself down, down, down into the deep. And before long, you will find yourself hovering some 30 feet above ground. And there you will see, almost invisible, embedded into the side of this rough stone canyon wall, some 300, maybe 400 feet tall, a temple. Columns flank an immense entrance. The temple itself is carved out of a portion of the stone nearly 80 feet tall. It looms over you, but the facing of this temple can be no more than 5, maybe 10 feet outcropping from the rest of the rock wall of the canyon. It's built directly into the facing. For those of you who have ever seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, very similar to that. I can't remember the name of the actual temple in the real world, but it's in Jordan. It's a fantastic looking temple. But this is kind of what the inspiration was, and I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Nice.
See, the stones are ancient and weathered, and cut out of the same material as the side of the canyon wall, or fabricated to appear as such. And as you move your head, you see bits of the entrance begin to camouflage themselves from your view using natural optics. Only the gaping hole that leads in toward a large double door. That is the only thing that remains constant in your vision. The captain approaches you, nods once. We can't get any lower. You'll have to use the ropes.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
It's only 30 feet. You shouldn't have much trouble.
Are the ropes already on the side, like,
Yes.
sent down?
Yes, and thank you, chat. It's Petra. So Petra is what I was thinking of. Thank you. Yes, so the ropes are already on the side. One of them is straight, one of them is knotted.
Vary's probably going to be like, all right, sounds good, and
Before you go,
leap off the side of the
It's
ship.
too late. It's too late for her. So, can I get an athletics check?
Yep.
as she's leaping off, I was just gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, just to let you know, this temple's been probably had all of its valuable magic items taken out, but it is still guarded and probably holds many dangers. So we should be aware as we're going into this temple that we're probably still traps and many dangers for us while we go down there.
15
Keep
for
in mind,
athletics.
yes.
Duly
And
noted.
Let's make sure Very doesn't get too far ahead of us then.
Okay. All right, so Very is climbing down the rope at a pretty leisurely pace. The rest of you may attempt to as well. The knotted rope will give you advantage on your athletics check. The straight rope will not, but it's faster.
Yeah, I'll use the straight rope.
Straight rope. All right, so everybody...
I'm gonna use the knotted.
Is it straight up strength, or can you do it more with dex, or?
You know what? Climbing down a rope, I'll allow Dex to be substituted.
Yes.
I got 21.
21? No problem.
But Claudette's gonna like turn to the captain and whoever the crew is out there, and just do the whole "thank you very much," full curtsy, the whole lot. Very appreciated.
I was going
Hope
to
to
do a
see you
fun
again.
little like flip off the side of the deck.
Good sailing. And she'll
Good
Just
sailing.
climb
Hopefully you'll be
over.
able to make it out if you're all right. We're heading out.
and that is going to be an 18.
18? No problem at all. Basically, I'm looking for a 13.
Okay. Lead
So I'm
in.
thinking she knows to like loop it around her foot and like hold it between her feet, that sort of thing, to slide down.
You said advantage if we're using the knotted rope?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm gonna use that. My athletics, they not good. So that's gonna be that's a 17, thankfully.
17? Not a problem at all. All right, so what's Crux's armor class?
Oh, I don't actually have his sheet up because I forgot.
Also, I rolled a 22 for.
Oh, perfect. So
For
yeah,
my
you're
app.
just gonna rappel down. Talfrin, you already went as well, right? So everybody's handing off.
Crux is
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
13.
Which, by the way, like Claudette does wear a skirt, but she has like a pair of like proper pant type legging things underneath of it because this is adventuring wear.
This is true.
Skirt blowing in the wind.
And what are you doing? The captain says, looking down at the carbuncle.
Ropes are stupid.
The carbuncle will stand on the edge, gauge its trajectory from 30 feet, and as as you slide down the rope and hop off, you are. How many hit points does Crux have?
I swear to God.
How many hit points?
He has.
Oh no.
Can you get Crux to make me an athletics check, please?
He has 12 hit points.
Okay, he's give me an athletics check.
Well, he got a 19 base.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
So
So
that is gonna be he's fine, I think.
He'll take 2 points of damage, and that's all. So that's pretty good. All right. So there is a moment where where the carbuncle wiggles his butt for a moment, calculating trajectory. And as Crux is about 10 feet from the ground, he's going to launch himself and Mario stomp off of Crux. Just grink, and land on the ground delicately and just start cleaning himself. Crux is going to get mildly bounced off of some soft earth.
So after that, he's gonna land, go like hop up to the carbuncle and just thump loudly at it, and then return to my shoulder.
Whatever.
And then I'm gonna cast Mending on him, and that'll.
Better it than me. I am flesh and blood.
And he isn't.
Unless you've got it hidden in there somewhere. I don't smell it.
I do, actually. He has a heart in there.
I've seen it. It's made of metal.
So are half the people on that ship. He could have just carried you down nicely if you'd asked.
I would have, but you jumped off too soon.
When Claudette gets down, she'll go, "Oh, I didn't realize you were coming with us."
I'm going to stay with the pirates.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Probably be a lot safer with the pirates. We tend to get ourselves in trouble.
Potentially, we're about to go into some sort of dangerous temple thing.
The temple is dangerous. It has, probably dangers, traps, and stuff. That's what I was trying to say as you jumped off the boat.
I mean, compared to the last place, the last cave that we went into, I can't imagine it's going to be that much worse.
Why would you say that?
Yes.
Barry, why would you say that?
I mean, this was a planned temple.
It
In other words, like, the traps were planned. The other area I don't think was very planned.
Yes.
Shall we go?
Let's head out.
Okay.
Carefully.
Walking, Leiden's gonna look over the carbuncle. And do you... I don't know if any of us asked already. Do you have a name?
I don't know. Do I?
Do you?
Call me what you want.
I mean...
What's your name?
Leiden.
Call me Leiden.
No, that's my name.
Hmm.
Well, do you want me just to call you Carby?
That sounds bloaty.
Yeah, so pick a name. Or... Bunkle?
Bunkle? I feel like that would get mixed up with the bunny.
His name is Crux.
But it's a bun.
Yeah.
I've heard you. You talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
You have this gem in your forehead. How do you feel about Jim?
Jim.
Yes.
Jim.
Jim it is.
That sounds outrageous.
Or Gem?
Truly outrageous.
All right, Jim, let's go.
Yeah. Let's go, Jim.
Well,
I like
if they
that.
like that.
Yeah, if Jim didn't...
Oh, Jim didn't seem too keen on anything, so we're gonna need something. Right, Jim?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah, me neither. I was throwing suggestions out.
Well, at least I'm not a cannibal.
Neither am I.
Wait, who is?
No, you're just descended from cannibals.
What are you descended from?
Gods. Angels.
And what do gods do?
They don't eat each other.
Oh,
They
sure they
might.
do other heinous acts. Anyway, let's go, Jim. Shall we?
Need to find a better name.
The spunk of yours, Talfrin. A little sassy today. Feeling better after that
I was
fight?
going to say before you
Yeah.
smarted off.
You feeling better now that you're resurrected? Oh, no, you didn't. No, sorry. Etiquette. That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
All right. So, what are you guys talking about? What's going on?
I mean, Leden's looking at the carbuncle going,
Do you
Please
want
continue.
to be called Jim?
Let's go.
I won't call you what you don't want to be called, but do you want to keep being referred to as the carbuncle? But you seem to have something else you wanted to say, too.
Yeah, that. It'll gesture down, and anybody with passive perception of 14 or higher will be directed to the fact that there are recent tread marks on the ground.
Oh. Oh.
Look, it looks like there was a patrol here not that long ago.
We should be careful.
Oh,
Not just
yeah,
in
look at
traps.
that.
And she'll
If
point
if
out.
anybody wants to make me an investigation or a survival roll,
I would
Absolutely.
love to make a survival roll.
Am I good in either of those? I'm really good in investigation.
Ooh, woohoo! Are any
26.
of them fey, fiend, or undead?
no. What did
Okay,
you get
so-
on that? What'd you get on that, Barry?
26 investigation.
26. It appears this was a mobile transport, a small one, usually used for patrols, just basically a scouting vehicle. You'd say that it probably came by, given like that it rained last night and that it's actually like pretty solid, like the tracks are right now. Probably this morning, and it's going on mid-afternoon at this point. Probably comes by once or twice a day.
Okay. And she'll say all that as she's investigating it. So, it's probably going to come back this afternoon. So, we probably should head inside.
Yeah, get in, get out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Trying to be a bit hasty. And Barry's going to start wandering towards the front, towards the entrance.
Why don't I guard the
what?
back, just in case?
Leden's getting her shield up and ready, and is... Yeah.
Can I do
Claudette is gonna
a-
like try and keep an eye out and look around and try and figure out, because we don't know what we're here for.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that we've been told to go here. So
Can I make, like, is it just, like... Is there anything else around other than, like, the ruin? Like, roads other than...
There are some dirt roads that are winding their way through the basin of the gorge. Well, the canyon, I guess I should say. But that's about it, really. Except, what was your survival roll?
Mine was not great.
I got a 13 on survival.
You are glancing around, and as you are going to see that occasionally in the canyon there are these like post-hole digger-sized ruts, basically about as wide as a basketball, punctured into the ground uniformly, about 8 inches, 9. There's actually one about 10 feet away from you if you look around.
What would make that? And she'll draw like Ivy's attention to it, probably.
Looking at it, they're fairly regularly spaced at about 20 to 25 feet, separated from each other.
Does it seem like a regular interval of like a machine of some sort?
Kind of. It seems more like maybe a machine, maybe a stride.
I was say, is it like footprints? Like, are there sets of 2? Or is it just like 1-on-1?
Yeah.
One moment, please. Is it this?
Ivy will definitely come help lead in, like, if she points that out. Ivy's all over trying to see what the
All
heck
right.
we might be up against.
There we go. As you're glancing around, you'll see that there's not much life at the bottom of this canyon. There are a few very scraggly, thin trees that kind of reach up into the fog cover that kind of obscures you and the sky away from you. And as you're looking around, a lot of these trees, they kind of remind you of some of the coastal variety, like the conifers that reach up almost limblessly until they puncture through the cloud cover. Now, the bottom of the Nergali Canyon is very densely fogged, and as you're down there, you're actually going to be feeling a bit of a chill as the cold sets in. The fog only hangs about 30 feet up. It's what you had to basically rappel down through as you were coming in. And as you are looking around, you are going to notice that these trees are actually about the same size as these posts. Maybe they were removing them? I mean, one of these trees is about 40 feet over to the right. There's a cluster of them, actually. There's a little copse of about 8 of them over there, all spaced about 20 feet apart.
So it seems like someone's planted these trees at a regular interval. Is that what you're saying? We're just trying to
Yeah, kind of.
Trees moved. At this kind of puzzling, Ivy's gonna kind of reach into her bag and she's gonna pull out this like golden looking liquid and she's gonna just pop a potion. Well, not a potion, one of her mutant makeups things. I'm trying to remember the word for it. Chemical formulas. So I'm gonna gain the precipient.
Okay, what does that do?
It gives me advantage on wisdom ability checks. Side effect, I have disadvantage on charisma ability checks. So it's just gonna help with like investigating shit around here. So
Sure.
Ivy's gonna take that.
What would you like to do?
Could she make another survival check to kind of
Sure.
see if this was like removed or like how it, if it looks like
Yeah, you may. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Cool. That's better. That's gonna be 21.
Glancing down into the hole, you'll see that there are little notches at 3 of the 4 corners, kind of clutching into the ground, as well as you're going to pull out, almost unnoticed, mixed in with some of the dirt, a long, needle-like hair. It's very coarse and almost could be used as a sewing needle. It's so coarse. It's about the length of the distance between the tip of your thumb and the tip of your index finger if stretched out entirely. Blackish, grayish green. It kind of is a little incandescent, actually. As you turn it, it kind of blends in with its surroundings slightly. And then you recognize where you've seen the marks inside of that hole before. It was during some of your mutagen training. On things like spider climb and how arachnids cling to walls, the hairs and the basis of their feet. And can I get an initiative roll off of everyone right now for the surprise round?
I think Claudette is definitely surprised because I think she was probably sketching.
Giant spiders!
All right.
So done with surprise rounds.
Okay, throw him in the chat. Throw him in the chat. Oh yeah, Carbuncle. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we've got okay.
Also, thank you, Frog. It's infusions. Thank you. The word just was not.
I
there
used
for me.
mutagen and I liked it.
It's mutagen too. It's good.
It's mutagen as well. Claudette. Okay. Then it is. And then it is... Wow, Leiden actually rolled really well. And then... All right. As you notice that, you are going to jolt back upwards and know exactly what is going on here. And as you do, Claudette, you're going to be just sketching as Ivy suddenly jerks to her feet and goes to ready herself into action. Above you, you are going to see the trees sway in the breeze, and then a bit of the clouds and mist are going to part, and you'll see that it is not a tree at all, but a 60-foot tall spider. And story time.
I hate it.
I hate it so much.
A spider the size of a large house with legs that could pass for trees moves through the mist and comes down toward you. Ivy, you and it are acting at the same time. So I would like to know, what's your plan?
It's like right above me.
It's about 40 feet away, yeah.
Oh, 40 feet, shit.
It's,
okay.
however, it is moving toward you, so if you would like to go second, it will be right next to you in a second.
Sure, that sounds great.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to use... I'm going to use Paralytic Web on one of you at random, I think. Whichever looks... yeah, okay, so... 1, 2, 3... Okay. Talfrin, do me a favor, my friend. Make me a... make me a saving throw.
Which one?
Constitution, please.
Okay. I rolled an 18.
Beautiful.
So,
this thing
25.
goes... Suddenly, you'll hear the sound of trees lifting up as these trees walk toward you, and above them, you will see this dripping with venom set of these awful jaws beneath 4 red eyes with a sharp arching brow line, fire webbing at you. Actually, the webbing's going to come from a duct in its stomach, I'm going to say, like a spinneret kind of in its lower groin. It fires this paralytic web at you, and you are going to be covered in this. However, you are not paralyzed.
That's nice.
You are restrained, however. As it touches your skin, you're going to feel it start to leach this narcotic venom into you, and you're just going to shrug it off with your anger. Ivy, this thing is about 20 feet away from you now.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to try this. I need a strength saving throw from the spider, please.
Okay, does a 19 work?
Yeah, okay, fine. It's not going to be reduced to 0 and can't take any actions.
Sorry, it has Goliath in the name.
Yeah, I know, it's fine. I just figured I could try the blood curse thing. Ivy's still going to take, because I had to amplify it to not affect the size, because usually it's one side's above me, but if I amplify it, doesn't matter the size of it. So Ivy's still gonna, she only rolled a 1 on the d6, so thankfully she only takes 1 point of damage.
Alright, so slashing your arm. Okay, that's not gonna work. It's going to...
So then she's gonna take out her 2 swords and give it a good old choppy chop.
Sounds good. So I guess you can't attack it, so you have to attack its legs. I'm pretty sure.
I was figuring like I probably could attack its leg if it's at the ground.
Yep, the legs are still at the ground.
Cool. All right, so I'll make 2 attacks. No lightning damage yet, 'cause use my my blood right for, or use my bonus action to do the blood curse thing. Does a, I can't tell if that's a 9 or a 6. I think that's a 6 on the die. Does a 15 hit?
It does not.
Okay, does a 20 hit?
A 20 hits. Your first strike, as you rush forward, you're going to slam it into the side of the leg, but much like a tree, this is a very solid structure. It has to be to hold up something this gargantuan. You draw back your blade and slash again.
And that's gonna be 9 points of piercing damage.
All right, you will stab into it. Bits of this mucousy blood will start to splurt out onto your blade. And you'll hear this noise echo down at you. So you used your action to move, or your movement to move forward 20 feet. Are you going to try to back up at all, or?
Probably not, because it's a giant ass spider. It's probably gonna catch up to her anyway. So probably not. She's just kind of gonna just chill.
All right, sounds good. Then that is going to be the. I'm just going to go through. That's the end of the surprise round. In the distance, you can hear something else, and then suddenly there are a lot more trees in the distance, getting closer at the edge of your visions. They will probably be here in a couple of rounds. And top of the initiative with Claudette. Claudette, what would you like to do?
Okay, so we're in the courtyard.
So basically, you are standing right in front of the entrance to the temple, which the temple's the entranceway that leads in is about 15 feet tall, and about 20 feet wide.
Okay. Claudette's gonna look at it then, try and make sure there's no weird loose stones or traps she's read about in books, and go in.
Your passive perception doesn't notice anything. So if you wanna make a roll for it.
My passive perception is shit, so yes, I want to roll for it. I only have 12.
12? Oh, sorry.
I'm not very passively perceptive.
That's okay.
That is going to be 18.
18?
Yes.
All right, so 18. You're going to notice that it doesn't appear that anything is trapped here. All that you will see is at the far end, the doors of the building, the temple, are shut. However, that is about 40 feet down into this entranceway.
Only 15 foot high. This thing's like 60 foot.
This thing would have to really work. It might be able to stick its arm in like you're in a cookie jar.
But that's a lot easier to defend against.
Yeah, and these things look like they're not terribly mobile. If you looked at them, their legs bend at the top, but not really the entire phone pole sized length.
They're on stilts, right?
They're basically on stilts, and basically how they eat is they hit you with a loogie and they suck you back up and eat you.
Lovely.
It's ain't nature grand. But yes, you can absolutely run forward.
Okay. I'm gonna do that and shout into the temple.
Okay, that sounds great. It is Goliath Longlegs' turn, which just sounds like a name you should strip to.
Well, dude, if we're on the same initiative, could Ivy go first this time?
Yes, what would you like to do?
Ivy's gonna disengage and run.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. I'm gonna see if my spit recharges. It does not. So I am going to use the real action on Talfrin. The Goliath Longlegs pulls one creature caught in its web up to 30 feet straight toward it. If the target is within 10 feet of the Goliath Longlegs, it can make a bite attack as a bonus action. So Talfrin is going to be yoinked off his feet and dragged 30 feet toward, which means that I can use my bonus action. Talfrin, you are restrained but not prone. So, do you have... You know what? The way I said it can't really bend down, so I'm actually going to deny myself that until I get you one more round closer.
Okay.
I just don't trust it. But I am going to try to kick Leiden. Oh, that was a hit, and then it rolled over to what was probably a miss. Is a 13 a hit, Leiden?
It is not.
Okay.
I've got my shield up, so...
One of these trees is going to, lift back and swing, and is going to slam you so hard in the shield, you're going to actually skid back 2 feet. Brace yourself, and Ivy, you are running. It is your turn.
All right, so she's going to pull out her pistol, the shooting star. Level it at the one that's trying to eat Talfrin. And fire.
Okay. You're firing at it?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's hoping I don't botch and just take Talfin's head off.
Yeah, you do what you gotta.
It happens, right? Well, it's not a botch, but I'm basically sure that's going to be a miss for sure. That's going to be an 8 to hit.
An 8 to hit is going to be a miss. Your shot is going to go wide and is going to just kind of bank off some nearby rocks. And you're going to hear as the other ones start to speed up their pace toward the loud food.
And then using bonus action, she's going to give an order to Crux to hit it with his force attack,
Okay.
and then get out of there.
Okay.
So that is going to be a spell attack modifier. Is that thing? And that's going to be a 19 to hit.
That will be a hit.
Okay, so here's a 1d4 plus my proficiency bonus. Is really is gonna be 4 force damage.
4 force damage. All right.
Yeah.
There is going to be a little as Crux sends like a Hadouken wave against the side of this thing's face, and a little bit of spittle is gonna fly out of its mouth, and it's gonna kind of glare down.
And then he's gonna fly.
How close does he have to get to do that?
It is a range of 30 feet, or 30 feet.
Okay, 1 sec.
So
Oh,
I thought we were fairly close to begin with, or
There you are. I was making sure that my reach is pretty big. So,
That's fair.
let's
so yeah,
see.
then he's gonna
30 feet? Yeah, okay.
fly back down.
Sounds good.
Using his movement.
All right, so doing that, you are going to be able to do that. And are you making your way toward the door, or are you hanging out?
I'll make my way towards the door, but I'm not gonna go in. Talfrin's still hung up on a spider, so
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
yeah, so that's not a good place for Talfrin to be, so she's hanging around until that's good.
Leading, you're up.
Yeah. So, how far am I from everything? Is it
Right now, you are about 20 feet away from this thing.
Okay, and how far am I from the entrance to this tunnel area?
You are about 30 feet.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So if you're on roll 20 right now, it is just off the map.
Okay, I currently actually can't see anything on roll 20, so it's all black for me.
Oh, it's because you don't have a light source.
That might be why. In which case, if I can't see anything, then I can't see anything. If I don't have a light source.
Oh, that's really weird that you don't have light down here. That doesn't make any damn sense.
I don't know. Because if so, the first thing she's going to do is cast light, which she would have done several rounds ago because she can't see anything.
No,
So-
it's not. That's not what
Okay.
I'm talking about. But
Okay, cool.
like you guys are out in the middle of the day, but for some reason it's not giving you.
Okay.
That's weird. I might have to just turn that off. All right.
Okay. But what I am planning on doing is if I can cast Guiding Bolt, I think, against this thing, I want it to release Talfrin, which I don't know if it can try and rope in two things at once, but I'm gonna tempt it and see if distracting it works.
He's gonna fall 30 feet, just to let you know, but...
Yeah, but you wouldn't be eaten. I'm not sure what's better here.
You're only about 20 feet in the air right now, Talfrin.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're strong.
Only,
You'll
though.
probably be okay. I'll heal you if something happens. You're
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, this is I need to make a ranged spell attack against this thing, and I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't have very good defense. Oh, I don't think I did it. I don't
No?
think I did it. I don't think an 11 hits.
An
I rolled a
11
3.
does not hit, unfortunately.
I rolled a 3. Shit, okay. Well, that sucks. So, but instead, she's going to... Oh, well, that was her action. Fuck.
All right, so
I
casting
think that's
Guiding
it.
Bolt. You are going to cast it. There's going to be a bolt of light that strikes near this thing. It is not going to. It is not going to be able to be stopped by that. Okay, the carbuncle is going to take its turn, and is going to look up its rules. The carbuncle is going to jerk about 10 feet to the side, aim up, and I rolled it. Yes! This guy's great. All right, is going to kind of crouch down, trajectory itself with its with a butt wiggle, and you'll see as like a ray of garnet colored light rips across the ground and is going to sever the web. Talfrin, can you give me an athletics check? Or probably an acrobatics check.
Oh, cool. I was gonna boast of myself, but I guess we'll do this instead. Oh, that's actually not bad. That's 22.
Okay, so you're going to land on your feet without taking damage.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's
You are no
nice.
longer
Thank
restrained.
you.
The
Okay.
carbuncle is going to growl at you, not Jim, and is going to take off running toward the entrance. Talfrin, it's your turn.
Well, you gotta give me something better. He's just gonna disengage and just book it.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. All right. Very, did you spend any of your movement?
No, she was basically going to just wait until Talfrin was free and then head towards the entrance.
Okay. I'll say that you had a held action for that. All right, so rushing toward the entrance, you are all going to be just leaving range. Okay, so top of the initiative, Claudette. The door in front of you is shut. Would you like to try to open it?
Yeah, I would like to check and see
Okay.
if I think I... If
Looks
it looks
like
like
there's
there's
an
any trick to
arcane
opening it, if it's just a push, and if there's anything that looks like it might be a trap.
It looks like there's an arcane seal on the door.
Okay.
You can make me an Arcana roll reflexively. Just,
23.
23. It should open to people with the correct credentials by voice and touch.
Shite.
You could try. You can also try to overpower it by just being incredibly confident in who you are. It's one of the the problems with the system. Theoretically, with a 23, you know that if you believe strong enough, like without pretending that you are more important, that sometimes can hijack it. What is really good, though, is that a lot of these wards are based off of the submission of blood. So if you are related to someone, you might be able to hijack their key.
Okay. Do I think it logs who uses it or sends an alert anywhere?
It might send an alert, probably doesn't log. Probably sends a silent alarm somewhere. But you got to get in here. What do you do?
I guess I try and make it work.
Okay, I would like you to make me a charisma and arcana check. To try to force of will this lock open.
All right. Well, I rolled an 18.
Okay.
And I add...
So yeah, replace your charisma for your intelligence in arcana.
So it ends up being 23.
23. How do you hijack this?
I'm thinking it might be best to try and pretend to be somebody blood related or something.
So what do you say?
Just because then at least hopefully it's not logging that Claudette Belmont opened it. I'm not sure who I could.
No,
Do you have any suggestions for that? Because I'm drawing
your
blanks
father.
of who I could. Sorry?
Probably your father.
Okay.
It's a shot in the dark, but with a 23.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Thinking thoughts of what my father's like.
Okay.
Do I think I have to say anything out loud or?
Yeah, you probably have to say his name.
All right. Very. Crispin Belmont.
There is going to be a the glyph on the door is suddenly going to be ringed by blue energy, and you're going to see a number of bits of the glyph start to turn like the pins in a lock, and the door will and rattle open in front of you.
Hey, that worked.
And with that, are you all trying to jump through and shut the door?
I want to check and see what we're jumping into before I do that.
It is a long corridor that looks like the entrance to a temple of some kind.
Okay. I will enter carefully.
Okay. All right, so stepping inside, is anybody sticking around outside?
Nope.
No.
Pretty much once they're headed inside, Leden's following. As long as she doesn't, trying not to provoke opportunity, she doesn't know what the range on these things are.
All right, so I get an attack off before that happens. Leiden, and yeah, so right, so I get some attack off before this happens. I need to grab more dice. Okay, so Leiden. Okay. Okay. Leiden, Talfrin, and Very, you were the last ones in. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that is an 18 for for Leiden.
Yep, that'll hit.
And then 21. So I'm pretty sure I hit all of you.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it could. Oh God, really? That's so good. Okay. Each of you is going to take 4 points of damage. As this leg reaches as far in as it can, it just goes bap 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 and starts like knocking you around like a cat. Each of you is going to take 4 points of damage because that's
okay.
Its legs are not that strong, to be honest.
Fair enough.
It's really good at hitting you, but really bad at doing that much damage. Behind them, you will hear other Goliath Longlegs muttering in strange spider sounds. Some of them angry that they came over for food that has now ran away into this hole. And you will start to hear the sound of tearing flesh. And one of the trees behind you will fall over, having been torn away from the body by an angry, larger Goliath.
Okay.
It appears that the larger Goliaths are getting their food one way or the other.
Well, that's none of my business.
All right.
Gonna keep it inside.
As I was heading into the room, could she make a investigation check for tramps?
And-
Sure.
And how dark is it? Because if it's really dark here, Leiden's gonna want to cast light on her shield.
Sounds good. I think I already have light set up for you, but let me know
I think
if I
you
don't.
do. Yeah, it looks like I do.
All right. There is no dog in game if you can hear Charlie barking. If you can't, then forget I said anything. Okay. Just 1 sec while I get this all ready for you. Okay. You step into the main hallway, the entranceway of this temple. Alright. Sorry, 1 sec. Okay. Sorry about that. You can faintly... It sounded like someone was yelling at him. That's why I wanted to pause for a second. I was like, what is going on? I was thinking it might be one of the people in the water. Okay. Anyway. Sorry about that. I will take that out of the YouTube. Stepping into the main corridor inside of this temple, the ceilings suddenly expand upward, incredibly, beyond the reach of your light. Nearly 100 feet tall. In fact, that's beyond the reach of most of your visions. As you see it expand ever upward, you will also see that there is a 20-foot wide path that leads deeper and deeper into... There we go, sorry, let's frame it right, there we go. Deeper and deeper into this temple. On either side of you, on raised platforms some 15 feet tall, you will see immense statues of humanoid figures. Humans, you would say, to be honest, although they're dressed in various degrees of ancient armor or ancient scholars' robes. Between them is the symbol of, well, looks like kind of like a cat or a lynx. It's very well eroded, but they flank on either side. Their forms are mostly warped and eroded by time, but they still maintain a slightly feline presence with triangular ears at the tops of their brows. Looking around, you can see that there is no discernible light source, and a soft mist clings to the ground inside of here, as well as the smell of thousands of years of decay and age. Dust covers everything around you, and the materials here appear that everything appears to be made of the same type of stone. Some type of quartz, maybe? Or sandstone. No, it's all sandstone. It's slightly opaque. Looking around, make me a roll with your investigation if you haven't already.
Are we also able to do that? The rest of us?
If you'd like to, yes. Or you can give Ivy advantage.
I have advantage already because of my potion, so...
18.
Okay.
I also got an 18.
10.
10?
I'm helping. I'm not really helping.
Mm-hmm. You don't see anything immediately. It doesn't appear to be anything of note inside of this entryway. Except that investigating, you will see that there's a lot of damage to the floor. Someone, at one point, brought heavy machinery through here. Many of the tiles that are here are cracked or broken and covered in dust still. It's been decades since anyone brought these things through here, and there's been enough time for debris to pile up in those gaps. You'll see scratching and digging. You'll also see, just occasionally, bits of broken glass. Bits of just random debris. A bit of rubber tubing. Looks like it was just ripped off of something. Not enough to be able to tell what it could have been. Besides something with plumbing. But no traps here. Now this room is quite long. And, in fact, as you look around, you see that it's probably about 200 feet long. The last 50 feet go up a double-wide stairwell to a platform that lead to a pair of... Well, do any of you have vision beyond 120 feet?
I don't have a vision above 60.
Okay. Then this corridor stretches infinitely into the darkness.
Leiden would like to move forward with her shield up.
Okay. All right.
And get... I think she wants to go to the end of this segment. She's kind of looking at the statues on either side and seeing if they look familiar at all.
Sure. You can... Yeah. Anybody who wants to can make me a history roll with disadvantage due to the age and wear of the statues.
Totally. I'll make the roll.
Each of them is made out of this strange material that appears to be like...
17?
It's
30, 20.
Like blue concrete.
Oh, wait. History, you said, correct?
Yes, with disadvantage.
24.
What's your bonus to history?
5. I rolled a 19 and a nat 20.
God damn it.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
All right. So, glancing around, you can see that... So, I got a... Can you put the totals in the chat, please?
Sorry about the typing.
Okay. Talfrin, these statues are... They are old. You are sure about this. Like, you're...
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is really old.
Real old. I don't know.
Like...
The only way through is forward, so let's go.
All right.
Why worry about the old statues?
All right. So, the rest of you are going to have various degrees of knowledge about what you think this is. Leiden, this is quite old. Like, this is several thousand years old. Christine, Claudette is going to have a good sense that this is pre-Emryan. Like, this is definitely pre-Emryan stuff. This is the human settlements that existed here before the first Emryan settled in Old Emrys. This is this is as far back pre-colonial Emrys as could be. Like, this seems to be like an original human settlement. And honestly, like, this is like going into like a temple set up by pilgrims or older for us. Like, it's that kind of vibe. Like, everything here just like stinks of age. But what you're going to notice is, well, just looking around, is that a lot of the... You can't climb up there. It's 15 feet. Is that a lot of the carpentry work here looks like it was done with... Probably not carpentry. A lot of the stone work and stuff here appears like it was done with a variety of different styles. You'll actually notice that there's a lot of dwarven craftsmanship here, a lot of some halfling craftsmanship here. Like, it's fairly intricate. Fairly diverse, actually. And,
she's going to be kind of explaining this as she goes.
And background time.
Oh, great. Where did it go?
Okay. What do the rest of you do?
Well, Leiden's not really getting much of a sense of this, and she's just listening to what they're saying. But she's keeping an eye out, like, down the passageway at this point. She's kind of just trying to... she really wishes she could see further, but she doesn't want to leave the group behind. So she's just...
Ivy's kind of probably keeping flank with Leiden, kind of like
keeping
looking forward, ever kind of trying to not be surprised.
Claudette is trying to pay attention, but she's pausing to take a few sketches, write a few things down. But she is paying attention where she's putting her feet, etc.
Owen is trying to, like, bring up the rear, but kind of scoot Claudette along. Because if something's coming back, we gots to go.
That's fair.
Anything?
It's more that she'll pause, set herself, sketch quickly, make a note, and then move. So she's not moving and doing it, because then that's likely when she would step on a trap, and she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
She likes not having scars yet.
Robin, what were you saying?
Ivy was probably wanting to can just like make a listen just to see like what, like, can we hear like feel airflow? Like, she's trying to get the sense of this temple. Like, is it like, can she hear anything sculling around? Like, are there even like bugs or small rodents? Like,
You can make me a perception roll.
Okay. Ayo, natural 20 for 21. Thank you, advantage.
You'll hear the very soft sound of the doors, well, some doors ahead of you, shifting with air pressure now that you've introduced new physics into this tunnel. You hear the sound of skittering bugs along the walls. There is life here. Thankfully, none of it, as far as you can tell, is 80 or more feet high and carnivorous. But there's time for that later. As you're glancing around, both of you who did investigation rolls before are going to notice that there are a series of stones on the floor up ahead of you that are slightly different. It's not so much that the stones themselves are different, but the old bits of mildew and moss that intersect the grout beneath your feet. Up ahead, you can see that they're slightly different colored. As if at some point in their history, their roots were depressed. Very slightly, a very slight color differential, and only noticeable as soon as Leiden approaches close enough that light floods the area, giving you the different color gradient. You'll notice that it is 3 stones in a row.
Look at that. The moss is slightly different. The pressure plate, I'm guessing? It's been pushed down.
That would make sense here.
Yes. Let's avoid those tiles.
Yeah.
And maybe you should stay at the front. I'll keep an eye out farther that I can see, but I can only see in grayscale at darker light. So
Good thing I've got light.
Yes.
And hopefully nothing that's attracted to light. And she looks around a little anxiously.
Above you, you will see just a momentary flutter. And Ivy, you will immediately detect what that is. It looks like a small flock of bats has nested in the roof here, and the light has disturbed them enough that they flutter around a bit.
Just bats.
Ow. She's waiting for the rest of the crew to, like, catch up before she'll start tentatively moving forward.
Very is right beside you.
Alright, cool. Yeah. And Leiden's gonna start moving forward and seeing what there is.
Sounds good.
So just those ones that are marked on the, so it's on the left-hand side is where the trap seems to be. So she's gonna stick to the right. And move
Sounds
up.
good.
There, this is gonna be slow going, I think, because she's checking constantly.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'd like another roll from you. Another perception roll, please.
Perception? Okay. Any advantage or disadvantage?
This will be just
Straight.
straight up, actually.
Okay.
And what were you saying, Robin?
Oh, I was just I was wondering if I could give. I guess I can't really help lead and perceive.
In this type of situation, you can.
Okay.
You're literally like looking for things together, so
Yeah.
So I have advantage then?
you can, yeah.
Cool. Good. That's slightly better. That's going to be a 16 then.
My laptop is not loving this map. I'm trying to have the controls on one computer and the stream on the other, and it's
no.
lagging like crazy.
That was 16 perception.
Perfect. I have one tab open. Why do I have 30% of my CPU on Google Chrome?
Oh man.
Leiden, if you're a bit worried, I could go in front of you if you want, depending if you'd feel more comfortable being in this center-ish area. Sorry.
The light's useful.
Yes, it is.
I'm good.
Okay.
Just don't wander off.
No.
You continue to head northward. And as you do, you'll see that there are a few more compressed stones. However, on the other side, the other path you'd have to take, there are small notches on the ground, as if some type of corrosive compound had dripped there. You'll have to choose one way or the other. What do you do?
sort of corrosive compound. Does it look like something's dripping from the ceiling?
No. It just looks like the stone had melted away in a place.
Something we can poke it with a stick or something? She's gonna grab one of the bolts from her quiver for her crossbow, and she's gonna poke at it and see if it's still corrosive. Or if there's anything still there.
Sure. Okay. You stick a stick inside of the hole. And, all right, so...
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine, too. So, right there. Sticking a stick inside of the hole, I need you to make me a dex save.
That's an 11.
Okay. Would you like to use your inspiration on this?
Sure. That's an 18.
Perfect. Cool. You are going to hear a clicking noise as you put a hole in the stone and depress it. Or you put your stick in the hole and push, and the stone depresses about a half inch. 2 panels along the walls open, and a serrated blade, basically a windmill of serrated blades, is going to whip out of the wall at your head level. And you are going to just dive to your feet and just cover, as this basically would have taken you off at the head. Or, pardon me, at the neck.
Yep. Found a trap.
Whoa! Legion, are you okay?
I'm fine. She's got her shield up, probably. Like.
So where on the other side, you said there were some more of the other ones that looked like they've been depressed as well. The other stones.
It looks like they're discolored for sure.
I'm crouched down here. Can I put a palm out on one of the ones next to me and see what happens if I press on that?
Okay, yeah, you may. There is a grinding sound. Can you make me a dex save?
Nat 20.
Okay, you're gonna hear and are going to like duck down a sec, and as you do, you're gonna notice that one is about 2 feet up rather than 4 feet and about 5 feet up, and are going to jump at the last second. It's gonna like knock your shield against your thigh painfully as you tuck down, but it's not gonna do any damage, and you are going to pin to the ground this whirling blade and kind of grind it into the side of the flagstones here. As
Legion! A new shield soon.
Are you?
I'm fine.
It looks like
trying
this,
to
by
set
the way.
off all the
I'm fine.
traps?
Is this on purpose? Are you just disabling them? That's a neat way to disable them.
It's a very risky way to disable them.
I mean, that's how I disabled them, to be honest with you. They can only take so
fine.
much damage.
So this one on the left seems to be, like...
It's completely busted now.
Okay.
I'm seeing if I have anything to designate as that, just for the screen. A lot of broken vases.
Well, the ones on the right seem to be higher up, so maybe stay low. And I think the one on the left is fine now.
Alright.
Yeah. And when she's confident that the one on the left, that it's broken and not going to move anymore, she's going to lift her shield up and stand and, like, shift off of it and tentatively keep moving forward.
Okay. All right.
Claudia's gonna start making note of where not to step.
Sounds good. You'll see that there's a stairwell about 20 feet wide that rises up to what looks like a platform up ahead. However, the wall structure changes again, and you'll see that there are another pair of flats up ahead on the left and the right. What do you do?
Oh. She mumbles a prayer, something along the lines of "Orphan, preserve me," and she's going to look around to see what looks to be the triggers in this segment, because it's kind of been a rhythmic, like a consistent so far.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can I get anybody who's over here that feels like it to make me a perception roll if you're looking around? If you're not, that's fine.
Perfect. I get
Absolutely.
that at advantage. Hell yeah, Ivy. 19.
Perception, you say? That's gonna be a 21.
19 as well.
19? All right, and who has the longest sight line? Anybody have 120?
No.
Okay.
No, I just have whatever is revealed by my light spell.
Okay.
I have dark up to
That was a
60
17
feet.
for perception.
17?
By the way.
Got 22 for perception. I rolled a 20. 19. I rolled a 19, sorry.
19? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody get above 20?
Sorry, I got 22 is what I mean.
Oh,
I got
total.
21.
I rolled a 19.
Alright.
Total of 22.
So the two of you, this area has been cleaned very well, but you will notice that there are a pair of stones that are both just slightly higher than the rest, and it's a bear thing. Like this, you're half thinking that you probably are just kind of guesstimating on this, but you think that there are two stones down the center that are slightly different than the rest.
So it's probably those two.
Yeah.
However, if
Maybe.
you want to take the outside wall, that'll cut your reaction time down significantly. Are you kidding, dude?
Is there a way to jump over them?
Yeah. You can just attempt to.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Claudette would like to try to do like an acrobatics
Yeah.
roll like over those.
Yeah,
Or
Ivy would too.
athletics. Just straight sheer power jumping over them. Question mark.
Like do a very quick
Okay,
tumble.
hold on one sec. Somebody's walking a really yappy dog. I'm gonna shut my window. Some of us are trying to run games here, buddy.
Anyway, that would be his input.
It looks like a stupid loaf of bread.
The dog.
Hey, don't
Isn't
talk
that
about my
always
rabbit
how it
like
is?
that.
The little ones tend to be really yappy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry about that,
I
guys.
had one run at me yesterday and I was like, because, yeah, they're scared.
They've got tiny little sharp needles for teeth.
They do.
Yep.
Precisely.
All right. So, as you, if you want to try to jump over, you absolutely can, Talfrin. You have a jump. Your strength's what? 20?
18.
18?
Right.
You've got like a horizontal jump of 18 feet at a run, or more, I think. So you can easily jump over them.
Yeah. With that perception score, am I thinking that's a pretty good idea?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. I mean, or you'll
Okay.
die.
Can I ready in action to try and shield slam something if it comes out again like the other one did?
Sure.
She's
But
just
it only
holding back a little bit
came
for
out
now.
when you touched it, right? Am I getting that great?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's just gonna take a step forward and just ready. And also, ready, spare the dying just in case.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Let's go.
All right.
So Talfrin's gonna take a running jump at it. Just try to get over what he thinks.
All right. Go ahead. As you jump over, are you making any noise? Doing anything?
Try not to.
Okay.
Try not to make huge amount of noise, but not sparing any vaulting power for covering anything up. Not natural 20
Okay.
to jump over.
All right. So
Land here-ish? Well, here-ish. Yeah. Sure.
all right. So leaping across the way, you will easily clear whatever is there and will land without a problem.
Perfect.
Ivy would try to do some handspring backflips over.
Sure, you may.
It's like the agile tiefling that she's been trained to run across.
Sure.
He'll make some room at this point
You can
then.
make me an acrobatics roll. Talfrin, you
Yeah.
can see that on the wall next to your head, there is a piece of paper posted with some adhesive.
Oh, I'm gonna take a look at it.
It's
20.
quite worn. It's decades old. But it's written in common.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, Ivy.
23.
All right, so Ivy, you're going to tumble across without none of these traps are going to go off, or just tear you to ribbons. You're going to not set off one of them, in fact. As you land on the other side, Talfrin, you can pop that off the wall.
Sure.
And you can see it's a notice from the foreman.
Okay.
It's printed on official letterhead, actually, from, looks like one of the Imperial drilling companies.
Oh. It's fancy.
Note, managed to reset one of the traps. That should probably be good enough. Keep anybody out who tries to trespass. The rest aren't really worth it. They're still disabled from entry.
Just gonna read this out. So, yeah. That's
Better
always
safe
good
than sorry.
practice. It's always good practice.
Yep.
Precisely. Claudette wants to kind of test the wall here, like kind of reach around and like just see how solid it is, because we saw that a panel opened and they came out previously.
So how would you like to test it?
By just kind of like, can I just lean around and reach and poke it?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a solid platform that splits.
Okay.
It looks interesting.
Can I do an acrobatics roll to do a quick little, like, 5-foot quick run up and kind of Kong off the wall across and like?
Yes, you may.
Because
And
I'm like,
gonna
well,
roll
if
to
it's
see
safer,
if
I'm
that
gonna try this
activates
out.
I'm gonna see if that activates the trap, though. So
Oh yeah.
I need a dex save. I rolled for how sensitive the trap was, if it was
Yeah.
sprung on, and I rolled a 20.
Oh no.
Alright. Okay, so dex save then?
Dex
Does my
save.
acrobatics matter at all?
Yes, it will, but I want both.
Okay, well, my dex save is 21.
Okay. And what's your acrobatics?
So that was 22.
Okay. So Claudette is going to take a step back, brace herself, and then do like a freaking wall run off the side of this. Junk, 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 junk. And as she does, she's actually going to get a sizable amount of air, which is going to be fantastic, except that as she's running, she goes enough vertical on the horizontal, getting space, that as she thrusts down with her heel, it's actually going to hit the lip of where the panel splits open, and a sword blade is going to lash out and clip off about an inch of the heel of her boot.
It's gonna be annoying.
Really?
That's gonna be annoying.
It's just
Like, that's gonna be the worst possible thing to happen.
no, the back of your boot heel is like this big.
Okay, well... Okay, so
Still
the
the
back,
difference
not
is
the
gonna be
bottom.
No, not the
Oh,
bottom.
okay,
I'm
I
talking
thought the
about.
bottom.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
Okay, well, the bottom is what was sitting there, so I was like, well, shit. Now I'm gonna be walking like this constantly.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's just knocking off the edge. It's closer to a high heel than it is like a stomper boot.
Okay.
You just have lost a little chunk of your heel. It's on the ground. You can freaking cast mending.
No, I can't.
Well, someone get
I
mending.
don't have mending. I'm not that sort of mage.
I do. You know that I have it.
Also, if
Like
Very
Claudette pays
doesn't
all that
have
much
it, she's not a
attention
very
to
good
that.
artificer. That's literally
Yeah,
what they're there for.
Very has it.
All right. And with that, you are going to make it across. The blade is going to just like be sticking out of the wall going...
So I said it
Luden's
was
heart has a
safe,
heart
but
attack.
don't tempt fate.
Claudette,
He's just gonna throw the paper to the ground.
do you do this on purpose?
The trap wasn't activated.
Why would you still risk it, though?
I
And
want
she's just
to try
gonna
it
move
out.
forward. And she's gonna try and, like, sidestep from... Just so that she's not stepping where it could potentially trigger it. Just in case.
Ahead of you all, you'll all be able to see at this juncture that there is, in fact, a little landing at the top of this stairwell that leads to a set of double doors. There's a symbol on it that's been eroded by time, but it looks like a tablet, or no, it's a door. A portal? It's hard to tell. If you had to guess, you'd say it looks like the sign of a doorway or an arch. What do you do?
Ivy's gonna go up to the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Leiden's moving up as well. Keeping an eye out for, more traps and all that. But also just, yeah.
Very is gonna move through the trap area and up the stairs.
Okay. Moving slowly up the stairs, you're going to be able to all meet at the door. These
Levette will
doors
also follow up after picking up the piece of her heel.
Sure. The door has a bit of what basically equates to Emrys caution tape on it. Do not enter by order of the Empress.
Okay.
Also, another one beneath it says danger. Containment zone in effect. Any unauthorized personnel will face 40 days of quarantine.
Ah, that's welcoming.
Is it locked?
All right, let's go.
It is in fact locked.
Can I try to pick it open?
You may try.
I'm gonna try.
You'll have to remove the caution tape first, though, which does void the warranty on your life.
She's gonna take the caution tape and just like toss it to the side as she pulls out her lockpicks and gets to work.
All right, you all saw it here. Vary's voided her warranty.
I think she did that when she died. I don't think the warranty carries over.
It depends what race you are.
Fair enough.
If you're a half orc, it totally carries over.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You get like gap insurance with an orc.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is what role am I using for this?
You are using a lockpick. So lockpick is a tool proficiency.
So just the roll plus my proficiency bonus?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and your dex.
Oh, okay.
Because you are proficient in thieves' tools.
I am, yes. Okay. So that's going to be a 19 in that case.
Okay. It takes you a few minutes, but after a fashion, you will be able to pick the lock. The lock on the door is one thing. The door handles as well, of course, also have another chain looped through them that you'll have to pick. You start working on it as well, and before long, the chain that looks like was placed there by the Empire is easily plucked. I believe, Robin, you had something first and then Amy?
Yeah, would Ivy know, like, what kind of protocols would be in store? Like, how, like, the word containment and, like, quarantine?
I'll give you a roll at disadvantage, but probably not.
Okay.
So you can give me an Arcana roll with disadvantage.
Okay, I can do that. Oh, I rolled a 2. It's gonna be an 8.
I mean, generally they just kill people that trespass in places like this. It's easier. That quarantine thing is probably to scare people off. They'll probably just kill you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
but basically, like, you'd know what everybody else knows is that places with innate magical energy can just be dangerous to be in. That's how you get aberrations. Do you want aberrations? Because that's how you get aberrations. Amy, you had your hand up.
Yeah. Leiden's looking around this room while Vary's messing with the door. So, like, on either wall. And also this thing down here that kind of looks like a lever or a switch or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just investigating if there's anything of note here.
Sure. Make me a perception roll.
Sure. That's gonna be a 15? 15.
You know what? I'll give you advantage on this because you're actively like looking around and you found the lever.
True. That's still a 15. I rolled 2 10s.
All right. So looking around, you find a lever. Do you want to pull it? There's a lever there at the base of this, at like the top of the stairwell, just kind of tucked off to the side.
Yeah. She'll hesitate with her hand over, like ready, like over it, and think about it for a moment. And she's gonna pull it.
Okay.
Or try to.
There will be a soft click, and 2 panels on either side of this landing will click open.
What? And she'll look.
It looks like maintenance tunnels to reset traps.
Huh. Duly noted.
They're incredibly dusty and full of fist-sized spiders.
If she pulls the lever again, do they slam shut?
They don't slam.
Or like, do they click shut, or do they have to be closed manually?
They'll shut.
Okay. Spider corridors as a last resort, I guess.
I guess if we need a...
Spider corridors are fun.
Yeah, sounds fine.
I mean... I guess. If worse comes to worse, we can maybe escape.
Ka-chunk. Very you finish undoing the last bolt.
2 is binding. Click out a 3. And we got this open.
The chains will fall to the floor with a loud... The doors are unlocked in front of you. All you have to do is push.
She's gonna look back to the group, still still kneeling in front of the door, and be like, "So what do we think? We want to go in?"
Proceed with caution?
Yeah.
As soon as she sees Talfrin's nod, she's just gonna go push.
And
Let's go.
the doors will open. What they reveal to you, we'll find out right after this break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Let's Talk to the Chat portion of the program. We also noticed we just got raided, so hi, good to see you there. So hey everybody, this is the fun part where we talk to you. We got the timer on. We're going to do this till 9:20 tonight because we're going to try to make these segments a little tighter. But also got some cool stuff to announce real quick that I want to make sure you all are aware of. So I just played you the trailer for the upcoming Mage of the Ascension, the Victorian Age game, which begins tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right here. It is going to be a super cool, mature game that is going to be set in the world of darkness. It's seriously going to be a lot of fun. The first episode, I have to finish rewriting it down to my notes. It's all prepped. It's all ready. The characters are wonderful, and I think it's going to be, if I manage the pacing right, it's going to be freaking great. And unlike most of my games, the second game is already completely planned, rather than just... I tend to plat the first game really heavy, and then the second game we'll see where the first one goes, and then we'll kind of see, use that momentum. But the second one's already pretty plotted, and so I don't have that sophomore terror. The first game was really good. How do I do it again? Like the first episode of Emrys, you guys were like that, and I was like, oh shit, how do I... It is going to be it's going to be a fantastic time. You should all come and watch it, especially if you have never watched any World of Darkness games before. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some other things that are coming up that I wanted to let you all be aware of is that so if you saw from our schedule, Christine and I are going on vacation for like a week and a bit. So we're actually going to be on break. We're going to have some stuff that's going to be airing during that time so that you are not going to be bored if you still want to watch some cool content, which is going to keep me busy for the next week. And there's going to be some other really cool stuff that's going to be released on the YouTube and the Twitch. And I am hoping that you will enjoy all of that. It's going to be great. And one of the things that we're trying to do with Dork Tales is over the last 3-ish months since March, I've been running pretty constantly about 5 to 7 days a week, depending on the week. And it has finally occurred to me after a meeting with my production team last night, which is kind of fun to say, even though it's just mostly like a bunch of friends sitting in a room and watching a vampire movie, which is the best part about being a team, that I probably shouldn't do like 5 times the gaming that like people like Critical Role or groups like Critical Role do. So I'm going to start scaling back to the old model where I run about 3 days a week. Hopefully that's not going to be inconvenient for you. Hopefully that's not going to lose anybody. But I know presently I've been developing a bit too much content, and it's made it very difficult for me on the back end because I have to edit everything and prepare stuff for podcast and stuff. And it's a bit too much work for what is mostly a one-person studio with help. So we're going to be kind of doing the same stuff. Hopefully that'll be fine. We got some really cool games coming up, and we have alternating weeks on some of them so that you get lots of different types of content. So if something's up your alley, then it'll be good. Other things that I just want to make sure everybody knows is that we are doing Extra Life as soon as we're back from holiday. That is going to be 3 days for Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, 11 games. I am running a game. Amy is running a game. Robin is running a game. Michael Ilott, our graphic guy, is running a Ghostbusters game. Millie's coming over to run some games, so Bunny Hearted. And Natasha's apparently running a game. I have no idea what it is because she won't tell me. And I'm a little worried. And I think we got like a couple other people who are running games too that are just slipping my mind. Oh, James is running a game. And Krista's running 2 games. So it's going to be a fantastic time. It is going to be really wonderful, and it's all for the BC Children's Hospital. So it all goes to help sick kids or give them robot body parts or something. I don't know. I don't read the fine print. I just give them money. And you can come and support us. Can't confirm that's what they do?
Can confirm.
Okay. So I'm really excited about a bunch of things right now. Number one is that this weekend I get to see Caitlin, and Caitlin, we're getting you a much better microphone. So you're going to have the same microphone I do. And that's going to be slick as hell.
I'm excited.
It's so good.
I'm also eating, but I'm so excited.
That's fine. You're allowed to eat. So it's going to be fantastic. And then finally, the last 2 announcements that I have before we just jump into chat is number one, we are going to be having a couple of new games. I said no new games, but we're going to have a couple of new games. And that is, I'm going to try to do a once a month chaos game. So a game where basically it's a game for people who want to give out subs and who want to spend bits. And so save up your pennies and you can come and make whatever game I run way crazier, no consequences. It is a game to pay my rent. So come and make things explode, like the other night where Way was playing and we killed him 25 times.
That was very funny.
Within 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'd like to do,
great.
we're going to do more of that because those are fun and they're weird. And then finally, there is going to be a bunch of new stuff. So if you are a patron right now, I haven't had a chance to update it yet. And I also wanted to check in with people and like ask what people were willing to help me do. So we have a bunch of new Patreon stuff that is coming up that will be really cool. Like we're going to have early access because I don't believe in paywalls. However, exclusive advanced access for patrons, it's kind of fair. So we're going to have a bunch of cool stuff going up there. So if you are one of our patrons, you're going to be getting some advanced content, like some behind-the-scenes materials, and access to things like, at the higher tiers, you will be able to have access to things like a just chat, like a private Discord call with me and whoever from the team decides to show up once a month. You will have access to once a month, just so that it doesn't takes too much time, is like I'll give you advice for your games if you have questions, because as a DM, one of the most useful things for me has always been being able to ask other DMs and other storytellers for their opinions on my plots and be like, should I go left or right with something? And even if I disagree with their choice, the second I ask the question, I kind of know which way I actually want to go. You know, it's like flipping a coin, but it's by disregarding a friend's opinion. So I'm willing to be disregarded for you. I also am not going to be teaching this year. So doing anything involving teaching storytelling or helping make your games more fun makes me happy. So, boom. Some good reasons to join the Patreon. Anyway, so that's going to be it for my announcements tonight. How's everybody doing?
Good. Real good.
Hydrating.
Yeah.
I'm super toasty.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
warm. That's why I'm wearing a new shirt.
I'm beyond toasty, which is why I changed out of my other one.
At least my
which is-
Claudette shirt is very loose.
Hmm.
So
Oh.
I'm a little warm. I'm not too bad though.
The wig is definitely warm,
Yeah,
Oh.
the wig is warm.
but I would look very, very weird if I didn't have it on right now.
I did forget one minor announcement, actually, that does concern us, and that's Shards of Nirn. We had a talk behind the scenes because we were going to come back for 2 weeks, and then we were going to go away for 2 weeks, and then we were going to continue our normal game. That seems kind of weird. So what we're gonna do is on Wednesday this week, we were going to come back with Shards of Nirn. We're going to have a behind the scenes where we're just going to chat and talk about the game for 3 or 4 hours, and just you can ask us all your questions about that game, and we can talk about how we got this far and emotions and stuff like that. And then I'll do something kind of weird the following Wednesday, and we'll go back to normal when we're back from vacation. And we'll be in season 4. That also gives more time because graphic design Michael is having his first vacation in a really long time, and I don't want him to do graphic design while he's on vacation. So he was going to redesign our frames for season 4. So anyway, so that was just something. It's going to be rad. You should come. It's going to be a just chatting with the Shards and Urn cast, which is going to be hilarious. And then the next week, I'll probably run something ridiculous. Caitlin, PM me with what days you're off, because I have something that I could run for you. Hold on.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Oh, all right. Let's keep talking. Excited about new projects. I don't know, unless we talked about it earlier.
So,
No, I'm just...
for the Chaos stream, I thought that one of the Chaos stream nights, we could run Oops.
Oops.
What?
Oops.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll tell you the full title when I have the graphics done.
It's the thing I just mentioned. Yes, let's do it.
So,
Yes.
So
Want in
Caitlin.
this
Yes.
secret.
Yeah,
Right?
well, you have
Curious.
to buy something for it.
Okay.
So Caitlin,
Specific.
Oh, I know what it is. Got it.
I know
Okay.
what it is.
Caitlin, do you want to
Now
play
I
in
know.
this?
I would love to play in that. Yeah.
It's the modern medical drama role-playing game.
Oh man, we're gonna have
Yeah, I didn't. I
so
know
many flings
in on the
behind
thing.
closed
I just wanted it on the
doors.
secret. That's all.
Oh,
That's all.
it's
I think I get
Hexeter
it now.
House. I guess I could run Hexeter House. I was supposed to run it last night, but we ended up having a meeting instead and
Yeah.
convincing me that I'm crazy. I will tell you
just
in the
that
chat.
You need to take a break. That's all.
Well, I think the problem is that, like, right now I run Dork Tales content and work on the channel about 70 hours a week with no days off, and I also have a part-time job that I do as well, and it's a lot, and it does lead to me having to improv a few things a little harder than I would have liked.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't want you ending up in a position where you're going into a game and going, oh, this again. I don't, like, oh, fuck, I don't want to run this. Because, yeah. But that's just in general, so. Yeah.
So how's the chat doing tonight? Y'all doing well? Y'all having a good time? How about players? Y'all having fun? You're in Vex Nergali.
Hell yeah. That's where we meant to go.
I am sorry in advance. So there are some things in here that are going to be fun for me. Very fun for me. And only me.
Whoa.
So,
And
no
maybe-
fun for us at all?
Do you like watching your friends suffer? Then yes.
Yeah.
Here.
Sometimes.
Suffering.
Okay, that's
Um,
a little nervous making.
What?
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 Who's- What?
Glorp Corp.
Glorp glorp. Yeah. So and I'm
my
not, and just to say to the chat, because I see Equinox there says that I've deserved a break. I'm not really taking a break. I'm just running at a sane schedule because I realize that Critical Role only releases once a week, and I release 7 times a week.
Yeah, and I was like, remember a
I
couple
don't have
months
their
ago
budget.
when you said that your game schedule was going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and occasional Sundays?
Yeah. I remember that
I have
too.
Tuesdays and Thursdays off right now.
You do, but then
Sort of.
I'm just pointing out that immediately after you said that, you started running Candlekeep every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
You know what?
Insane
You
man.
know why? You know why? Because I got to be a player, and
I know.
and because people, okay. Part of the reason was people in the chat and in comments were like, "Oh, Kelly never dresses up. Kelly doesn't cosplay. Kelly, and it was
said
like,
that?
bitch,
said
I've been
that?
cosplaying longer than all these people. All right.
Like, who? I don't remember seeing any of that.
I don't remember that.
I've cosplayed longer than you, Caitlin.
I mean, cosplay, sure, but I also like dressed up as characters every single fucking Halloween. Oops, sorry, I swore. Every single Halloween for forever.
How fucking dare you swear?
I'm sorry,
gonna
I'm
say it.
sorry.
It's not like we have
I
an
was
18 plus
young.
filter on the channel.
Nah,
Okay,
that's
guys.
Caitlin, we have the fucking 18 plus fucking mature fucking
Can
content
swear.
filter.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
said
Like
it.
fucking hell, Caitlin.
Oh,
you
no,
can,
don't
you know?
worry about
Petition,
it.
let
But
Caitlin say
But
fuck.
basically, they were like, yeah, let's start a petition. So, but they were like, oh, Kelly doesn't, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so that's why I deliberately played the weirdest character outfit I could every episode, just to see how much I could push it. And then Robin and I got in on it. We were seeing who could push each other the furthest, and it was a lot of fun.
Yup.
I still think that Tank Hill was probably my best costume. And I'm so sad I had pocket sand and I never got to use it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I got to play Luella as much as I did.
She's so
Because-
good.
She was just a concept I never thought would ever be realized, ever.
I'm so happy I found Rosalina, and you know that she's great, and she will be back. I'm also happy that I got to play Flame again with Lark, because I just and Gristlegrit, because those
Yeah,
trio
Amy, are you
great.
running D&D, right? Like for
That's
Extra
my
Life?
plan.
And
Yeah.
do I get to be Lark again?
I mean, are you and like team gonna be in my game? It's
Yeah, I'm
Saturday
gonna be.
night.
I'm gonna be in your game. What
Do you
Yeah.
want it? Hey, I got
Yeah,
these
you have the ears
for
now.
Flame, so
So
you
I'm
know.
thinking like a level. I feel like I'd have to level it up a bit because we've done like level 5 or whatever.
Keep
So-
it below level 12 though, because after level
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
it starts getting iffy. I'm actually worried because Shards and Urn is going to be getting into the higher levels soon, and after running Candlekeep at level 16, I'm just like, bruh, this isn't even fun. Like, there's
I'm
too
less
much
worried
stuff.
about that because I know what I get as a druid, and I'm very much like I have my go-tos that I go to.
Well, I've also
And even,
been
like,
really slow about level progression, so
True.
you really learn stuff. Candlekeep is kind of hard because you got to jump in with both feet, and you're like, what
You
the
do,
fuck can I
yeah.
do?
Yeah, and you forget
and,
because it's
and
such
each
a short
time
run.
it's just like,
Which-
yeah, it's like, oh fuck, what are the
But-
new rules I did? Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
but
especially-
I'm looking at the time.
It is,
Yes.
yeah. So we're going to wrap up. So, folks, we're going to hop back into game in just a sec. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we really appreciate you being here with Dork Tales and being here with us, and I appreciate you being here with me. There's going to be so much more cool stuff that I'm going to try to get us doing this year. We've got additional people who might be running games on the channel soon. I can't say anything specifically about that, but some short runs, and I think we're going to try to do a few more limited series in the future. So, like 5 to 10 episodes. And then they can always be ran again later. I think that the model that we had for Emrys is pretty good, where it's going to be three independent arcs, and I'm really happy about that. Quick reminder, next week, Reign of Emrys is on Thursday instead of Friday, because Mike is going flying somewhere.
Yes, I am flying myself over to the mainland to see the Abbots for their show.
Yeah, so, and you take a bunch of photos for me. So we're running on Thursday, so you get Emrys a night early. Sorry if that... Oh, wait, actually, that does mean that we can get Trizalta. So that's good. So that actually works out, because he's not a traitor anymore.
Why is Trizalta a traitor?
Because he's... Oh, so if you want to see Trizalta, who is a member of our chat, a good friend of the channel, good friend of ours, and also our wiki mod, which I've deputized. You're the wiki mod. Trizalta is actually going to be playing on our good friend Becarius's channel, as far as I understand. So if you want to see, if you want to prove that Trizalta has a face, go screen cap it and post it in our chat, and the funniest photo gets a prize. But
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
Oh no!
He's so
Trizalta,
self-conscious
I am
now.
so sorry, Trizalta.
So, the last thing before we hop back into game real quick is I really hope that you all come and join us for Extra Life. There's going to be fantastic stuff. Also, DM Mike, good to see you. Thank you for the sub. And don't worry, I don't know if they're going to get there tonight, but DM Mike has something in this game that he helped me make. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, upcoming, we are going to be moving into the realm of having a lot of digital prizes that we're going to give away during event streams and chaos streams and things like that. So be sure to come out for those. We'll have a raffle system. I think we can make it so that followers get a certain number of raffle tickets and subs get like a few more, and that people who buy subs get more blah, 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 blah type of thing. But it's going to be like a lot of video games. and stuff, because I have a lot of Steam codes, as it turns out. Like, I've got like 150 Steam codes in my account that I need to give away. And it's called Humble Bundle, Mike. It's called Humble Bundle. I have so many Humble Bundle subscriptions, and I need to use those. So it's going to be fantastic. You get free stuff, and we have some interesting partnerships that I can't talk about yet coming our way, but I think you'll like them when they hit. And with that, anything before we head back in? Anyone have to say anything? No?
Let's go open these doors.
Cool. So, for those of you, we are not sponsored and we are not partnered, but I will say that if you like anything you see in tonight's game, odds are it came from this book, The Creature Codex by Kobold Press. Good luck. And quick warning, if you run this for your players, the challenge rating is legit. The Goliath Longlegs were only challenge rating 7, and they could have wiped half the party, which is one of them. So, enjoy. Amy, contact Kobold Press. Let's see if they want to, if maybe they can hang out with us.
Yeah, maybe.
They seem like cool people.
I mean, just give me the list of people that you run books, like, use books from a lot.
I really want to do something with the Animal Adventures people. Because they have a Kickstarter right now that I think just finished. And they have a new class that they invented called the Watcher, which is just a Witcher that is a dog.
That's pretty good. Message me later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this. Yeah.
All right. So that is going to be it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in for our chat portion. Whew, my stomach is sweaty. That's a weird feeling. I'm not used to vests.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it was too warm. That's why I'm in a different shop.
Right.
Because no vest means the other one is really see-through. That's really great.
We need to, like, Mike, you need to get very just like a singular piece, like, shirt.
Yeah, it's true.
Just get like a light blouse. It's true. All right, folks, we're going to head back into game. We're going back in a 5, in a 4, in a 3, in a 2, in a... Let me back up a little. Okay. And 1. Hello, and welcome back to the Reign of Emrys, here on Dork Tales. You push your way through the doors into Vex Nergali. And as you do, the light from Leden's shield floods the room. You find yourself in a large circular chamber. However, there's something off about this. The chamber is, as I said, just wide, circular, and about 40 feet tall. There are passageways, doors, leading to the left, to the right, and straight ahead of you, although that door has been damaged significantly. The bottom half has been completely sawed off to make way for piping. A large hole has been bored in the center of the floor of this room, where you would expect that there would have been probably a fountain, a statue, some sign of religious fervor. Instead, you see what looks like bits from an arcane oil derrick, drilled and piped into the ground and running into a side room. An old moss-covered machine that likely was some type of pump sits in the northeast corner of the room. There are various bits of scorch mark around the room, as well as old crates of, looks like mining material, but most of the crates appear to be completely empty, useless, covered in dust. However, looking around, you will see that whatever is covering this tremendous hole in the center of the room it looks more like it's containing something. Like a pressure valve. Or, for those of you who are more, for Leden, I suppose. And very, I would say, given your halfling nature. Reminds you of the hermetic seal on a jar of preserves. Ready to pop the moment that the pressure is released. This is not quite what you expected. What do you do?
Can I do an investigation check on the machine in the corner?
Yes, you may.
Fantastic.
And we're being rated, I think.
Sure.
I was
That
just
is-
thinking that their phrase was good
Their
timing.
timing, yeah. Yup.
We were just
Oh, it's Devil's
talking
Luck.
about
Hey, guys.
we were just talking about this thing being a seal holding something in
Some
the middle of
sort.
this room.
Yeah.
And then you came in saying the seals have been broken.
Yeah.
Ha! That's really funny.
All right. So, investigating around Very, what do you have?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. All right, that 20 is pretty dirty. So looking around, you are going to see that this machine is in pretty bad shape, first of all. Looking at it, it's old. This design is at least 20, maybe 30 years old. You've seen them before, though. It's an arcane siphon. It's designed to be bored into places of magic, to siphon out energy and repurpose it. In fact, this actually even has a slot on the side of it where you can load in the charge capsules for weapons and armor and equipment. It's like a filling station for them.
Are there any here?
You will actually find that there are. What'd you get on your investigation roll?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. You will find one empty charge inside of the machine, ready to go. But it looks like the machine's missing a couple of parts. You could probably get it up and running if you found them. Likely that they're around here. But this is basically designed to siphon magical energy, to process it, and then to repurpose it and kind of refine it just in a short period of time. It's not quite as efficient as using some of the larger machinery, but it's portable.
So seeing that, Very's gonna hold up the empty charge and be like, "Oh, so it looks like this machine's actually designed to pull magic out, for lack of a better term, and repurpose it, store it. These little charges, which I think some of you are familiar with, you pop them into the machine and it'll recharge them, actually."
Oh, can I see that for a sec?
Yeah, Very will chuck it over.
Catch it, and he's gonna try to pop it into the blade because it looks like
It will fit. They're universally fitting.
Whoa!
I mean, that one's
All
empty,
right.
but
Well, at least we know that fits now. That's what that's for.
if I find the parts for it, I could probably get this running and charge it up.
Oh yeah, sounds good. He's gonna toss it back over to you.
But why did this place get sealed in the first place?
Wasn't there something about the magic being weird here?
Yeah,
here?
something like that.
Do we really want to use that magic then?
I mean, it might give a nice surprise for whoever it gets used against.
Or it might blow up in our faces. And Leiden's stepping forward
Also,
and
that
she's
looks like it's
examining
sealed.
the seal.
That seems to be
everything
kind of
around
my MO at the moment. So
All right.
Oh, my.
So there's a bit of a gap over on the southwest corner where the seal is starting to erode. Bits of the stonework are beginning to plunge away, but the seal is deeper than it appears, actually. Aside from being a dome that you can walk on with a grate, underneath it appears that it is completely hermetically sealed and goes down about 10 feet on all sides. More like a... kind of like a cup that's turned upside down rather than like a jam lid. Like when you're building sandcastles and you take a bucket and grind it in, that's how this thing is actually designed more than anything. Although there is a place where the seal is almost broken on that southern side that you could actually fall in and get trapped, especially if you're Very's height. It's about a 10-foot gap and a lot of sharp rocks down there.
Leiden is very carefully skirting around that as she goes. For some reason, this is reminiscent of the core mine.
Similar,
To her?
actually.
Similar.
Yeah, okay. Can
Like-
you make me an investigation roll or a survival roll?
Yeah. I would like to do a... Ooh, I'm going to do survival, I believe. And maybe I'll roll half decently. We'll see. Ooh, okay. Survival, that's going to be 21 total.
It's been decades since anyone's been in this room, but as you're here, you get a strange sense about it. Bits of the past tumble in front of your eyes as you look around and appraise the situation. Over here, next to this hole, you see claw marks. Long, ropey ones, but the thing that I need to explain to you, claws do not define what I am explaining correctly. Claws are, well, they're sharp protuberances, often parallel. The markings on the ground, whatever this thing was, the claws were not formed naturally. Picture a cat whose claws were laced over each other, as if the fingers had grown improperly. Like a massive barbed wire. Whatever scratched here, the scratches are all intersecting there, but they're all weighted the same. It's like I guess more like a nail bat. Or a cactus. Just spines and barbs everywhere. And you'll find old splashes of dried blood in the grout that's been scrubbed everywhere else, but the shadows still hold the truth. And, yeah. That's what you'll notice around the edging here. What's everyone else doing? So Leden's down there investigating. Crux is kind of flying around doing his own thing, going, squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Telfrin's gonna kick around, see if he can find another magical chargey thing.
Okay. Can you make me an investigation roll?
I can sure try. Oh, that's the wrong tab. Sorry.
Ivy's gonna go up to one of the other doors and kind of take a
15.
listen.
Okay. 15. All right. So looking around the room, you are going to find that there is a charge.
Hey, cool.
It's actually, Ivy almost steps on it as she checks the other door. She kind of like puts her body against the wall to make less noise, and as she does, you'll see that there's a small charge that is kind of wedged between the wall and where the floor has a slight gap, and her heel kind of nudges it out of the spot.
Oh, hey, no, careful. There's another one.
Oh.
I don't know why I saw that and you didn't, but he's gonna pick it up. Oh, that's pretty
Okay.
cool.
It is actually, as you pick it up and rattle it, it doesn't glow. Glow is the wrong word. As you hold it in your hand, it actually feeds on the light in the room, and it gets dimmer around your hand. There's a fluid inside of it. Well, there's a plasma inside of it. A very scant trace of it that shifts from side to side.
That's neat.
You
Can
think
I Arcana to see what it is, or
you can definitely try.
I can sure try. No harm in trying.
No harm in trying.
I got a nat 20.
Did you actually? Yeah, there
I
is.
I can screenshot.
I don't care. I'm fine. I trust you.
I was just saying.
That is fantastic.
Which is
there
actually
is
a 19 though.
was actually a night. Oh, because you have a -1. Yeah. So you are going to shift this back and forth, and as you do, there is a magical charge still in this one. It's not much. Like, I'd say this is almost empty. You've got 10 minutes of charge in this one. So normally these canisters work. You pop them in, you get 6 charges. Each one lasts 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
This has like 1 left, but it looks unusual. Most of the ones you've seen in the past or have heard of are elemental in nature. This is not. This is cold to the touch and actually feels like you're touching a tumor.
Oh, gross. He's gonna pocket it.
Cool. It can go right in your sword if you want to put it in there.
No, because then he only has 10 minutes with it, or so he thinks.
Oh, that's fair.
Doesn't know how
It
this
doesn't
works.
activate till you push a button on your sword, at least. But fair.
Oh, he has no idea.
Okay. They kind of work like gun blades. Is how I picture it. Like there's like a slot. You load the ammo, and you're like click, bang, and then they activate.
Oh, gotcha.
Because Magitech, right?
Yeah, he has.
But yeah, you have one. So you can put in your pocket necrotic ammo.
Nice.
1 charge.
So good. Okay. I will put that in my sheet.
Yes. The chat is saying that
Thank
it's
you.
materia. It's basically materia,
Oh, okay.
but it's basically materia. But what was I calling them earlier? I called them something last game, and it's slipping my mind because I've been sweating all day because it's been very hot.
Not sure.
Can't
Would I-
remember, but I just like the non-copyright infringing materia.
Not
Like-
ma-
It was like
Right?
charges
No?
or cartridges or something.
Yeah, we're calling them cartridges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cartridges.
Yeah.
all right.
Magic cartridge.
Gunblades are awesome. I've cosplayed Squall.
It's gunblades are cool.
I made a gunblade. It was great. Horribly unbalanced, but fantastic for sword fights.
Amazing.
You can't block, but my god, you can swing fast.
You need really swing fast enough.
All you do is get your face cut. I actually have a scar right
Perfect.
where Squall does. It's very faint, but I have one.
Oh my gosh.
It's a long story, but we're not on chat, so hey. Ivy, as you are at the door right now, you can give me a perception roll, please.
Cool. And just so you know,
You have advantage from your thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't go away until the next. I can either choose to dismiss flush the toxin as a bonus action, or at the next short rest it basically wears out.
Sounds good.
So it's basically still up until I say so. Chaotic dice today, aren't you? Well, I'm glad
What'd you
I have. I got a 14.
A 14? Mm-hmm. Listening on the other side, you can hear the sound of air moving. Just a whistle, a low moan of wind. Besides that, nothing. Stillness. Do you want to try the other doors?
Yeah, I should probably listen to all of them and then
Okay.
make the decision about where to open.
Okay, so you will manage to make it to the western door, since no one is over there right now, and I'll let you use that same roll if you'd like. On the other side, you can hear and smell stagnant water.
Okay, so east is wind, west water.
Yes, and north is fire, and south is earth.
Okay, sounds great.
Yes, and only the avatar can go into all 4 rooms. Okay. Okay. Speaking of that, Claudette.
Claudette is lighting a torch and going up and checking at the top of the room up here.
Okay,
She
sounds
does
good.
not have the light spell.
So, an immense set of double doors is to the north, and as you approach, you now can you see on your roll 20?
I
Okay.
well, when I move around, it's not
Okay, one
changing the brightness around me.
sec. 1 sec. And boop. There.
Awesome.
You should be emitting light now. Cool. I wish there was just a quick toggle for that where you could just
Yes,
be like
I am.
torch.
Excellent.
On. Player
Torch
C.
on, right? So, moving up to the north, you can see that this immense set of doors, ornate as all hell. Looking at this makes your heart ache, because as you were seeing it, this woodwork made, for one, the wood is ancient and petrified. That they were able to carve into it at all is a wonder. You're not sure how they did it. It has intricate knotwork that speaks to you of ancient cultures. The first intermingling of man and elf and halfling and dwarf, all comprised into a single representation of past. But also, looking at this door, you see that there are some symbols beginning to repeat themselves across this temple. Symbols of... It looks like there's a lot of mirroring going on in the architecture here. Symmetry between these 2 doors. Each one has a slightly different shape. You think, at least. It looks like a set of portals? Doors? Circles? One dark, one light. But as you look at the door with the light, this is where your heart breaks, because whoever came in here kept the doors as they were and demolished the lower half of the left one to make room for industrial piping. They added a rubber sealant. There's not really much room to squeeze through. Perhaps Very could if she really pushed through the rubber. It looks like the right side of the door will open. But right now they've kind of roughly carved in, like, you know the door on old firehouse stations where you can open the big door and then the small door? They've kind of carved that in with the smaller bit wrapping around the pipe.
Okay, so it's a Dutch door.
Is that what they're called? Cool. Good to know.
So.
I learned the Dutch have have everything, don't they? Dutch angles, Dutch doors, Dutch ovens.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
What? A Dutch oven is like a cooking thing. It doesn't have
It's
to
a
be
cast iron pot.
Yeah.
The Dutch have a lot of things.
Yeah, the Dutch doors are like the half doors.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically kind of sealed around a Dutch door is what they've kind of refitted this as. But it looks like it's directly siphoning something off of this reservoir that's been tapped into the center of this room.
I guess there's no clues as to what we're supposed to do or who we're supposed to meet or what we're supposed to see or anything.
Not at the moment.
Just supposed to find, I guess, answers.
Leiden wants to also check out these doors eventually.
Absolutely. Which one are you into?
If Claudette looks like she's mainly focused on the left side, Leiden will come up on the right side.
Okay. Did you try to open the door?
I mean, she'll take a look at it first, but yeah, she'll might give it a try.
It is beautifully ornate.
Hmm.
And what languages do you speak?
I speak Common and Celestial.
Okay.
That's it.
Claudette, as you're looking at this as well, as Leiden touches the door, a bit of dust is going to come off it, and you'll see that there's an inscription on the door that I believe both of you can read in Celestial. Now, mind you, it's written in Celestial on the door that that Claudette is in front of, actually, because they're both connected still. Claudette, what other languages do you speak?
1 sec. Common, Elvish, Draconic, Goblin, Celestial, and Sylvan.
Okay. You will not be able to read the other part of this. Neither of you will, but you will know what language it is. As you look at the first one in Celestial, it says, as above. Balanced. Complete. And on the other door is a matching stanza written in the infernal alphabet.
I think both Ivy and Talfrin can.
No, Ivy understands Abyssal because she's an Abyssal tiefling.
Really?
Yeah, Ivy doesn't understand Infernal because I chose a different weird-ass tiefling
Talfrin knows
thing.
Infernal.
Ivy does not know Infernal, and I'm really pissed because she's not getting anything with Abyssal right now.
Claudette, that's Infernal, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
Oh, what's
Right.
Infernal? Talfrin's gonna walk over at that point then.
Can this, and Leiden's gonna point to the doors and be like, well, this section here is in Celestial.
Okay,
That-
yeah, I have no idea what that says.
Looks infernal, and she'll point at the infernal clause stanza or whatever.
In fact, it is Talfrin. It says, so below. Balanced. Complete.
So below, balanced, complete. Well, I don't know what that means, but
I don't either, but the celestial part is similar. As above, balanced, complete. She'll translate. And then she'll say it in
So
celestial,
below.
because why not?
Okay. It sounds weird on your tongue, and you'll feel a slight tingle. Probably it's your imagination, though.
if nothing happens, Talfrin will try to complete that in Infernal.
Okay. As you say that, you'll both get a strange itchy sensation. But that's all, really. It's just your clothes will feel a little too starchy around the collar and joints for a second. as if something is trying to happen, but is too exhausted or tapped out.
Well, I tried.
Try and open the door.
Pushing the door, it will open freely at your touch. And one moment, please. Cool. As you push the rightmost door open, the hinges are going to snap, and the door is going to and fall in.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Kicking the door down. Let's go.
I guess we're going that way.
Didn't mean to do that.
Claudette will clamber over the pipe and
All right.
follow.
The next room is much like the first, shaped roughly like an octagon. It is immense, and what you will see is that there are a number of shelves, old discarded papers, debris, huge canisters that kind of look like helium tanks lying around the room, as well as a piping rig that goes to an immense 20-foot high tank on the western wall. Next to it is a ceiling joint that looks like it's feeding to an underground reservoir. There's a pressure release valve at the center, and looking around the room, this looks like an Imperial camp. It looks like a drilling site.
Are there exits from this room, or just the way we came in?
As you move in and your light floods it, you will see that there are a pair of immense double doors ahead of you. And as you look up at them, they are going to suddenly flash to light. And pardon me just 1 second. I'm just going to do something that I removed for my own benefit, but I'm going to put it back because I like it.
Kelly.
Yes.
So Very's getting sick of dealing with everybody else's torches, so she's just gonna pop one of her own.
Okay. Do you have light on yourself?
No, she does not.
Okay. So I will just do that real quick. Okay. As you look forward and your light touches it, you will see a layer of blue and white light ahead of you that shimmers across this door. It flares to life as soon as you enter. There we go. You should be able to see that.
Arcana check?
Sure, go ahead.
Uh, 18 plus 8 is 26.
It looks like a magical barrier.
Do I know any way to get around those?
You could try to dispel magic, but this looks pretty potent.
Okay, but like nothing else other than that, really?
No, not unless
Okay.
you know a command word or a way to bypass it using like a hijack spell or something. But I don't think you do. So dispel magic is the easy way.
Okay, I just thought that maybe there was like a control panel or something around.
No, usually with this, it's either like a symbol of station. Usually like, I wear the scepter of door opening. Boom. Or, I am the priest of this temple. All shall pass for me.
Ivy's curious about the barrier. She's just gonna like take a loose piece of like debris, like a chunk of rock or something, and she's just gonna like casually like underhand toss it lightly at the barrier to see what happens.
The barrier, the pebble will through the air and will just hold as it hits the side of the crackling energy, and then it's like a ghostly version of you takes it and lobs it back at you with exactly the same velocity. The rock will just lightly bounce off of the palm that you threw it from.
Huh.
Eden's also curious. She's stepping forward and approaching it, and she's just like got her hand like hovering just out of reach of the barrier, and she's just like staring at it going, and I think she's trying to I guess she's wondering if this is something that was here before as part of the original temple, or or structure, or if this is something that the Empire put here.
You can make me an Arcana roll or a Religion roll.
I would like to do a Religion roll.
You may. And as you're doing that, I'll be about ready to help Claudette.
Oh, I have no fucking clue. I rolled a 2.
I will say that even with a 2, it doesn't look particularly Imperial.
Yeah. So total, that's a 6.
Yeah, you're not sure what it is, but you don't think it's probably Imperial? You know that it's probably not a good idea to stab it, though.
Yeah, no, she wasn't planning on touching it. She's just like...
Maybe that's all you have to do is stab it.
I mean, she might actually just put her hand on it directly.
I'm pretty good at
with that kind of uncertainty.
All right. So, Claudette, what are you doing?
Claudette, I think, probably saw the barrier, went, oh, that's neat. Don't think I can do much about it right now. And go over and look at all these books and have a quick look and see if any of them are, like, seem important. Like, kind of do a skim through, not searching particularly, but kind of going like, oh, okay, theories of mining, no, okay.
You can make me a history roll to look through
That
them
sort of
and
thing.
try to pull information.
See if any of them have any information on what they were doing here, potentially. Mm. 21.
All right. So, as you're looking through them, let me just check something real quick. Oh, that's right. That's in the front of my notebook. Okay. Looking around the room and looking through the things there, most of them are logs. You said 22? So skimming them,
21.
Most of them are very badly damaged from age and neglect. It seems like most of the important records were taken when the Empire pulled out. Some of the ones that were left here are basically like daily logs. The ones that you're seeing are from about 25 years ago, because they're dated. Quickly glancing at them, it's things about daily maintenance, about boring into the site, that arcane engineers are working to get into the final chamber, but they are sealed. Talking about disliking the foreman, and saying that with that roll, you'll actually, we can't get some of the machinery working. We're going to have to bring in some of the halflings. This space is too narrow for us. Flipping through, you are going to see a notice that says, from about 3 months after that, the mining's going pretty well finally. New guy in actually managed to rig everything up pretty well. Also good at cards. Nervous little dude, though. Weird name. Oh, well. Later in, there's another log entry that says, overall, one moment, please. Pardon me. There we go. You know, starting to turn around my opinion on halflings. They're pretty raucous drinkers. I don't think that that I can keep up much longer and still make it in the morning. Still. I'd rather owe them a few bucks from drinking games than have to fix things myself. He may be a lush, but Ravati's doing a pretty good job here. You'll see that. You're across the room. You're across the room.
Well, no, I was just wondering, like, is she reading this, like, out loud?
No, that would
Okay.
take too long.
Okay.
Flipping through, though, you will see a log entry signed off that will have Ravati Soulstar. at the bottom of it, signing off on a looks like a request for additional tools in a specific size, like a 10mm ratchet piece, because keeps going missing is an asterisk. Can we get some tools that are halfling sized, please? Not to complain, etc. But stuff like that. Beyond that, you'll find that there are a couple of really small notes you'll piece together that are saying we're making headway, the siphon's working quite well, we should have this place tapped out in the next year or two. There's a lot more energy here than we were expecting. A bunch of missing log entries. Something about after the incident, the brass are sending agents to monitor. There's a pair of them showing up tomorrow. I hope that I still have a job next week. That is the last time that person has an entry in these books. It looks like some agent showed up and took over the operation at that point, though, which means they probably found something bigger than they were expecting from a simple mining operation. So who has not really done much in this room so far? Who is Talfrin and Talfrin, Ivy, and Very? What are you guys doing?
Very is over by the what looks like the tank connected to the pipe, because it looks mechanical and she likes everything mechanical, so she's just kind of investigating that.
So this looks like where the main reservoir for the siphon was.
Okay.
So it looks like the piping system basically pumps it up, and it can either go right into the refining equipment, which has a limited area in it. Basically, it can only hold so many liters of energy, whereas this is is just a huge storage facility and tank with what looks like an underground reservoir as well. And as you're there, you'll see that there's actually a pressure valve in there. There looks to be basically no energy left inside of here. But then you're going to start to hear on the bottom of the hatch something is tinging against the hatch of the ground reservoir.
Do I hear anything else?
Besides people talking and Claudette flipping through pages, not particularly.
If I take out one of my little tools and tap against the lid.
Something taps back.
Hey guys,
What'd you find?
Yes.
I think there's something in here.
What?
Well, that's interesting.
Don't
Yeah.
like.
Someone's gonna go up to it.
There's an underground reservoir, I'm pretty sure, for energy. And there's something actively tapping against the lid here. See, watch. And she'll go tap 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 against the lid.
So the lid is pressure sealed, right? And as you tap against the lid, you're gonna hear "Time" as something collides with the inside of it.
See?
Oh.
Whatever that is probably nothing friendly.
Time.
Oh, it's
I think there's no going back now.
Clang.
Well, it's getting a little louder. We
Hello?
can get ready to fight.
You're gonna see
Up.
dents start ripping up into the metal. Now this is very thick metal. Like, think of this like almost like a bank vault, but probably about as thick as a sandwich, we'll say. I don't know why that measurement. Maybe I'm hungry. But you're gonna start seeing like little dings start to rise, as if something large is slamming into it from the inside.
Oh.
I'm just gonna quickly try and look at the barrier, see if there's any way to is there anything about it to run away? Is there anything that you could do to try and perceive a way to shut this down?
You this thing's going to open like a hatch eventually. You could put some bookshelves and tables on top of it.
No, I meant the magic barrier. Ivy's like, this might be our way out. We need to get this.
You don't think so unless you dispel it.
Talfrin's gonna get ready for a fight and pop the cartridge in.
All right, so you pop the cartridge in. Your blade has like a little like pull lever on the side of it. As soon as you want to. There is... oh, damn, really? That's going to be really useful, actually. All right, there's going to be a clang.
I think Ivy's going to see Talfrin doing that. Ivy's going to do that with her cold one. She's going to put that in.
Very is going to get away from right there and head over to the far corner of the room.
And I would like an initiative roll from everyone, please.
Right there.
Very's just in the corner with Crux hiding behind a crate.
Nope.
She's tiny.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, so that is going to be 13, 14 for me, and for my carbuncle, that's going to be like a 6. That's great. Okay, so top of the initiative, pop them in the chat. Let's do this thing. Clang, clang. There's no surprise round. So that's going to be... Okay, so I've got Very at the top, followed by Claudette, followed by Ivy, Leiden, then Mytholob, then I'm fine saying it because you guys have no idea what the hell that is, and then Talfrin, and then not Jim. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and with that,
Gotta
you're
give
gonna
me a better name then.
clang, clang, clang. Well, I was hoping you'd offer some more better names. Clang, clang, clang. I wanted to call him like a Red 12, but that seemed a little derivative. Okay, clang, 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 and then suddenly the hatch is going to explode open, and a large creature made of swirling gears with a soft magic core is going to explode out. Story time.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's cool.
It looks like junk metal that fell around. You'll see that at the center of it there is an arcane charge, like for one of your weapons. It looks like it probably fell in the hole when they were redoing it, and a bunch of junk metal and corroded metal formed into its own construct around this thing. It bursts out of the ground and starts spinning around like a globe of death.
Oh, that one's gonna be powerful.
An ever-shifting clockwork wonder engineered by the divine, engineered by chance, floats a few feet off the ground, bearing weapons of, it says weapons of legends long past? No. Bearing rusty shrapnel long past. This is the tetanus wheel. And,
Jesus Christ.
Right.
Gross.
All right, so, Very, it is your turn. What do you do?
Okay, so... that's horrifying. She's gonna make a ranged spell attack.
Okay.
Using Chaos Bolt.
Okay.
So I guess let me make the attack roll to start.
I want to say real quick, I am not sponsored by Kobold Press, but I love this monster. I really...
We would love to be sponsored.
We would love to be loved by
The
Kobold.
Kobold
Press,
Press
you
stuff
see this.
is so awesome.
You're gonna love these powers. You're gonna hate them, but you're gonna love them.
Okay, that's awesome. The tetanus monster coming up.
Yeah.
All right. So that's gonna be a 19 off the bat to hit.
19 with Chaos Bolt.
Yep.
Okay. That is going to be a hit.
Okay.
And,
awesome.
Cool. Thanks for that.
Oh no! All right. Well, I guess I'll roll my damage.
Roll me damage. What kind of damage?
Damage.
What kind of damage is it if it's Chaos Bolt?
I'm not sure yet.
Roll me a d8.
So that is going to be. Oh, we don't get a choice. It's fire damage. As it's 3, 6,
Okay.
9 points of fire damage.
Okay. So
As she pops this little grenade off of her belt, pulls a pin and chucks it at this thing.
It's going to explode, and you're going to see some of its blades, like, it's going to rattle for a second and then start spinning faster, and its blades are going to start looking red hot as it absorbs some of the energy. It looks scratched up, I will say. That didn't look like it did no damage, but what else are you doing?
That's gonna be it. She's hiding behind some crates in
Okay.
cover.
What kind of halfling? Are you a Lightfoot?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so you can hide behind a lot of stuff. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Is Crux doing anything? Or did you use that part? Did you use your bonus action?
I didn't use my bonus action, no. She's gonna just get Crux to kind of hover near the back of the group. If something happens, he'll be readily available for people.
Sounds good. Claudette, you're up. What do you do?
Can I try to figure out what I think this thing is?
You may try.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this sort of thing.
You can
I don't know.
you can use your reaction to make me an Arcana roll.
Sure. Can 23.
23. You've heard. It's a spontaneous construct. Sometimes magical energy pulls itself together in a certain framework. It would be like fire creating a random magical elemental. This has created some type of creature around whatever magical energy was left inside of that tank.
Okay.
They
So it's
should
not-
have cleaned it first. Like, you're not supposed to leave stuff like this. It's like how when they tear down a gas station, you're not supposed to build on top of it for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And they're supposed to sterilize it.
And so it's actually kind of like becomes a creature.
Yeah.
So it's not really like just magic that you could dispel. It's a thing.
It becomes semi-sentient.
Okay.
And often very hostile because it's had a bad childhood.
Well, it looks like it just took that fire that Very threw and used it.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna attempt Ray of Frost and see what that does.
All right, sounds
Because
good.
at least it might help cool down those blades.
All right,
and
sounds
negate
good.
that fire.
Make me an attack roll.
Yeah. Okay, so that is 19.
19 is going to be a hit.
Awesome. Okay, so this is going to be 2d8. So that's 11 points of cold damage.
All right, your Ray of Frost is going to strike it, and it is going to do what you think. It is going to cool those blades down, and it's going to start slowing down for a second, and then almost like shaking off a bit of fatigue, the gears are going to start spinning faster. As in, it's just like...
Okay, so it doesn't actually reduce its speed.
It doesn't
then.
reduce its... No, it does... does it normally?
Yes, that is part of the spell. It
Okay.
reduces its speed by 10 feet.
Actually, it will reduce its movement speed by 10 feet.
Okay.
But basically, it doesn't like do additional damage. It's just gonna like kind of shake its head like you just gave it a bit of a. It's a spinning whirl of death blades, but you feel like you just gave it brain freeze.
Okay.
But I would say that the damage wasn't quite what you were expecting. It did some.
So what I'm thinking as a player that would occur to Claudette is maybe magic's not the way to go. Bludgeoning might be the way to go.
Maybe. I would say that it's probably resistant to what you just gave it and the fire.
Okay.
So it's taking some damage, not all. Do you have anything else you'd like to do?
She's gonna call out, I don't think magic's gonna work. Telfrin Smash?
All right. Ivy smash first. Ivy, what do you do?
I'm debating.
I mean, Claudette doesn't generally think of Ivy when she thinks of smashing. That's more like stabbing and bleeding shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, she's gonna do this. So Ivy's going to... She's gonna cast Mirror Image of herself on herself.
Okay.
So 3 illusory duplicates of Ivy suddenly pop up right around her.
Oh, Dirk's fantasy.
Yeah, I know. Poor Dirk is missing that. So, because that's one of her random Abyssal Tiefling spells that I rolled, and man, boy, that was
Abyssal
nice.
Tieflings are great. Go ahead.
They're so great. So she'll do that as her action, and as her bonus action, she is going to, I mean, magic may not work, but she's still gonna activate her Crimson Right, and she's gonna activate her Lightning Blade. And I will roll my d6. That is only 2 points of damage. Nice.
2 points of damage
All right.
total?
For Ivy.
Okay, good. All right,
Yeah,
so...
I'm not attacking yet. I've used my action to cast the spell, and then
Okay.
she's gonna activate her Crimson Right, and then she's just gonna...
All right, so your blade begins crackling with electrical energy. And are you doing any motion or movement?
Yeah, she might move.
So this thing is about 20 feet away from you and about 15 feet away from Leiden and Talfrin right now.
So she's gonna kind of go maybe like 15 feet closer. So like the 4 of her are just kind of being distracting to that thing.
Okay.
Because
Sounds
yeah,
good.
basically you will roll if you attack me, and then we'll see if it actually goes for me.
Oh, I know how this spell works. I love it.
It's great.
All right, Leiden, you're up.
Yeah, so Leiden would like to activate one of her channel divinities. So she'll raise a hand to her holy symbol and like utter a short prayer to the orphan. And choosing this swirling thing of blades, curses it until the end of her next turn. Next time I or an ally of mine hits the cursed creature with an attack, the creature has vulnerability to all of that attack's damage, and then the curse ends.
Ooh,
So she's
beautiful.
gonna curse it. Yeah. And she's then going to, as her bonus action, cast Shield of Faith on Talfrin,
Sounds good.
which gives you a +2 to your AC. Talfrin.
Oh, damn, nice.
And
Thank you.
that will be your turn.
All right. It is now its turn. Sorry, taking a note for the future. Okay. This thing is going to... and is going to turn, and true to form, it is going to surge forward toward Ivy and is going to make 3 heroic jabs, which is, I love what that's what its attacks are called.
Okay, so I will roll the d20 to see if you 3 times, I guess.
Okay, so I have a well, if I hit, so I have a 17, a 20.
So that will meet. So 1 duplicate will go away with the 17. Well, at least I'll do something. Second one, duplicate goes away. And what was the third one that you rolled? Sorry.
A nat 1, so make me an opportunity attack if you'd like.
Oh, I would love to do that. Thank you.
So it's going to swing through one of your duplicates, and it killed two of them.
Yeah, killed 2 of them.
It swings through a second one, and as it goes to attack you, it's kind of confused by where it's attacking, which gives you a perfect shot. And this has vulnerability, so you're doing double damage.
Sweet. That is going to be a 18 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll me damage.
Sweet. All right. Ah, I never find my d8s when I want them. There they are. Okay. Well, that was okay. So, do you want me? Is the lightning damage also vulnerability or no?
I'm gonna say it's the entire attack, right, Leiden?
So it's one until the next time an ally or of yours hits the cursed creature with an attack, the creature has vulnerability to all of the attack's damage.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the lightning damage too. Cool.
Perfect.
So that's gonna be a total of let me math, sorry. That's gonna be a total of 22 points of damage.
Now, that's your combined total, or did you double it?
That is the combined doubled.
Okay, so you got 11, and it's 22, and you added your dex into that?
Nope.
Yeah, don't forget to...
So another 4. I forgot about the dex.
Okay, so
and
that's...
the 2, and the +2 for dueling. I keep forget dueling. I keep forget the dueling. A +2 again.
So that is an additional... So you hit with 2 attacks, or just 1?
As a reaction, can I make 2 attacks?
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So that is going to be an additional 20 points of damage. So that's going to be 42 points of damage.
Yes, Ivy. Yes,
Right?
Ivy.
Isn't it? Because it's +2 plus... Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's going to be...
No, it's +6. It's +6, so another 12
so it's going to
points.
be 34 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy crap. So it's going to lunge through one of your clones, through another one of your clones, and then as it aims at you, you're just going to slam into it and are actually going to cut one of its spinning blades off. It's clang onto the ground, and it like swirls and like pivots down almost to look at the blade, and then looks back at you and looks a little embarrassed and angry. But that was a hell of a hit.
Smirk. She's gonna take her tail and just push the discarded blade with her tail.
Okay,
like,
and on that, I'm going to spend a Hurt the More to activate my Purifying Resonance.
Oh no.
Everyone within 30 feet of me must succeed a con save.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
man, I
Claudette, you're out of range, and so is...
Is this necrotic or radiant damage?
It is neither.
Okay, cool. Just gotta check.
I'm gonna spend my determination.
I got a 17.
17, you're fine.
You said Constitution save?
15.
15, you do not succeed.
Uh-oh. That was with my determination.
Okay, Leiden, what do you got?
That's gonna be an 8 if it was a Constitution save.
All right, would you like to use your inspiration, or you already had?
I've already used my inspiration.
Okay, it is going to start glowing slightly and is going to thrum with harmonic resonance. If you failed this save, each creature in the area that fails this save has all conditions and magical effects ended immediately, and concentration is broken.
Would
There goes Shield of Faith.
Shield of Faith
there
vanishes.
goes mirror images. Would that deactivate the blade? Is a question.
All magical effects on it ended immediately, including your blade. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So it just starts to go boom, and all of your within 30 feet, all of your magical effects and spells vanish. And Talfrin, it is your turn.
He's probably so low on the initiative list because he was like, activate, oh, and then flicks it on.
Your sword begins glowing with negative light energy. If that makes any sense, it's like looking into a black hole.
All right, let's go.
You ever seen the Dark Saber? It's like that, but cooler, because I'm running it.
Now, is
Suck
that
it,
a
Favreau.
bonus action?
For me to run something cooler than Jon Favreau? No, it takes a lot of effort.
Oh, that's fair. No, flicking it on. Activating it like that.
Yeah, it's literally you're flicking a toggle.
Okay, then I would also like to rage at the same time, because this thing... Because I felt stronger for a moment, and then that power got sucked away from me, so you know what? I'm angry.
I'm angry for you. Can you roll me D100?
Yeah! I sure can.
Let's load the wild magic chart.
Let's go. There it is. 75.
Oh, 75.
75.
Okay, so let me just check real quick. 75.
Yes.
We all magically.
Holy
heal.
shit. Okay, let me just check what, because I've got 200 things, so I check both and I see which one's better.
Okay.
Oh, that's a dumb one. Okay.
Okay.
Talfrin, I want you to do
Yes.
me a favor. I am
All right.
one,
Okay.
and we are going to go in a spiral outwards from me.
Okay.
So, it goes, I am 1, Ivy is 2, Leiden is 3, Talfrin is 4. Crux is 5. Claudette is 6. The Carbuncle is 7, and Ivy is 8. I mean, Ivy. Very is 8. I would like you to roll me a d8.
Oh, okay. There it is. 6.
Okay, so by that count, that is Claudette. Didn't I say?
I think so.
Cool. Claudette. What do you have on you? Like, what possessions do you have with you?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you? So let's see. You don't have a shield or anything, right?
no, I have
Okay.
my rapier,
Okay, so
clothing, my little book bag with my spell book
okay.
bag.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Your sword is 1. Your outfit is 2. You have a cloak of some kind?
Probably.
Okay, that's 3. Do you have gloves on?
Yeah.
4?
Or at least
Okay.
one glove. That's
Boots are,
covering up the
boots are
slave mark.
5. Your backpack is 6. And then 7 and 8 are miscellaneous.
Okay.
Talfrin, roll me a d8.
Okay. Okay. Is a 5.
What did I say 5 was? Your boots?
I don't know.
I said boots, right? Cool. Claudette, you are going to... Sorry for the moment. This is just going to take 1 sec. Oh god, really? Are we going to do this? Are we doing this? Okay, and I would like you to do me a favor again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll me a d6.
Okay. 5 again.
Cool. Claudette, you are going to feel a tingling sensation at your scratched boots. And as you glance down, your boots are glowing slightly as Talfrin enters a blood-curdling rage. You are now attuned to your boots. I will explain what that means if you decide to activate them. Talfrin, you are free to rage running forward. It appears that nothing happens.
All right.
The magical energies lash out at you.
Whatever, that's fine. Fine by me. He's going to try to slash at it twice.
Okay,
Or
go
stab
ahead.
at it, I guess, twice? No, slash probably. I don't know. Whatever. He's gonna
Sounds
run
good.
at it twice. And we are gonna use my inspiration. And we are gonna use... And roll again. And we're gonna use my lucky.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. So I got 26 for one roll.
That is a hit.
And then a nat 20 for the other one.
Oh my god,
Because I
do
used
it.
my
Do
lucky.
it.
Because I
Do it to
remembered to
it.
use lucky. Okay.
Do it to it.
Oh, actually, sorry, not 26. I was going to use Great Sword Master.
I'll allow it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking about it and then I forgot.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So, the charge that you have is an additional 2d6 necrotic.
Nice. Okay, so
Damn.
for the first one,
Oh,
that's
I'd also
gonna
add +1 to
be-
all damage because magical.
Ah, right. Okay. So for the first one, that's going to be 2d6 plus 6. So 4d6? Is it on all of those attacks then? Are both of those attacks then?
It is going to be yes. Each attack will have that for the 10 minutes.
Okay. So first one was 24. Oh, sorry, 25.
Okay, so that's with your rage bonus, with your strength bonus, with the +1, with the +2d6, and okay,
Yeah.
so 25.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I
on
didn't
this
roll
one,
very well.
please remember to double on the crit everything.
Okay.
So you should be rolling 4d6 plus
yeah.
4d6 plus.
Yeah.
That's it, actually. 4d6 plus 46. So 8d6 on the second hit.
Yeah. Well, still just the 4 and then double it. So 18, which turns to 36, and then plus all my modifiers is going to be 16. 17. 6 plus 17 is going to be 53.
Holy shit. Okay, so with a blood-curdling scream, Talfred's going to go forward, and the first one is going to actually smack some of the blades aside, which are going to set him up for a perfect critical on the second one. That is going to be, as we call it in the industry, a hell of a blow. One moment while I do some math here. It is going to start spinning and trying to, like, wiggle out of your way. It is getting caught on its own spokes. You critical hit it while using Great Weapon Master, which means you get another attack.
Does it? I'm pretty sure that was just a homebrew one.
Is it? On Great Weapon Master?
I think so.
It's if you have but you used your bonus action to go into a rage.
I did.
Oh, that's right, because you turn your bonus action
you
into
use
it.
the
You're right.
bonus. Yeah.
It's not your reaction.
It actually is a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it does take your bonus.
nice.
I thought it was a reaction for a second, because...
Yeah, no, it's
so that's a hell of a hit. Damn, son. It is near decimated as you slam your sword into it twice. Carbuncle is in a perfect location and is going to just use his light beam because, hey. And is actually going to hit. That's pretty dope. Oh, it actually rolled okay damage.
Question.
Yes.
With that, because I guess technically the blade is a magic thing.
Yes.
When I activate that, did it feel like it was like resisting that at all?
Not even remotely.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. Good to know.
It like the necrotic energy that you're wielding right now cut through this thing like butter.
Nice.
Like it just tore it in half. And as it limps around, the carbuncle's going to dance to the side, concentrate, and shoot another ruby beam out. That's going to do decent damage, but not particularly great. It seems to be resistant to whatever it's shooting. It's going to growl, and that is going to be the end of this round. Very, it's your turn.
Is there any, like, debris around? Like,
literally everywhere.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So she's just going to pick up a rock.
Okay.
And can you please make me a dex saving throw?
Sure. Is a nat 20 good enough, or do I...
God damn it! Yeah, you know, I think it might just be
Okay,
just
cool.
be
Cool.
good enough.
I wasn't sure.
Can I spend my inspiration to give you disadvantage on that?
No, because I roll with advantage on saves.
Ah, okay, there we go. Never mind. All right. Well, in this case, this is gonna do nothing.
Okay. So you'll throw a rock at it and go tink.
So basically, like, what happens is like she's gonna pick up this rock, throw it, and then grab a little thing like off her arm, chuck it at the rock, and the rock's just gonna go pew, at this thing, and then you go ping and fall. And then so that's great. And then with a bonus action, she's gonna tell Crux to hit it with force damage.
Sounds good.
With its blast. So basically, he needs to be 30 feet from it.
Sounds good. Make me an attack roll.
He's gonna make an attack roll. He's going to. I think that's gonna be a hit because that is an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So that's neat. And this is
neat.
Super low damage.
Good job, rabbit.
Yeah. And that's going to be a 4 plus my proficiency bonus, which is 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7 points of force damage.
All right. The rabbit will flap its ears and fire the force bolt. And as it does, this thing will go ting and start. It's really out of sorts, and that was not its favorite thing to have happen. I will say it's pretty dented up. I think that's so funny. That is so funny. I'll tell you about this after. Wait, that doesn't even. Oh, I read this.
Oh no!
I read this entry wrong.
Like you read the entry about the tieflings wrong and ended up one.
No, this actually does not affect anything so far. But it is something that would have been hilarious in certain circumstances.
Fair enough.
So basically, I fudged my way around this without even trying, which is always great. Claudette.
Well, hitting it hard seems to be working. Magic missile.
Okay, magic missile. Go ahead and make me a roll me your damage.
I was gonna say there's no attack roll.
What level are you casting at? Just basic?
Sorry?
Are you casting just basic level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so...
I'll tell you about this thing after game tonight. I think you'll really like this thing.
12 damage.
How many?
12.
All right. You slam into it with your force bolts slam into the side of it, and it starts wobbling on its axis. It's starting to fall apart. One of its rings actually falls to the ground and clangs, becoming just broken struts and screws. And it is not happy. It is actually, it's kind of sad. I have to ask, Claudette, are you doing anything else with your actions?
I'm gonna kind of do that, look at my boots, tap the floor with them a bit. Like, what the hell? What happened? They're glowing.
Okay. Can you do me... Are you doing anything after that?
No.
Cool. Actually, one moment, because this is funny. Cool. You're gonna tap your boots on the floor. Cool. As you do, can you make me an acrobatics check?
Yep.
Now, this ceiling is...
nat 20.
Okay, so Claudette, you are going to tap your boots on the floor and are going to feel a sudden, unbelievable sensation. What's your strength score?
10.
10. One moment. Okay, you are going to clack your heels on the ground and feel a sudden spring in your step that is going to launch you into the air. You are going to leap and flip 30 feet through the air on top of this table, landing flawlessly. In fact, with
She's
a side
gonna yelp
jump,
a little bit.
you are actually going to leap, hit your feet on the ceiling, and spring down into the table.
Can I superhero landing?
I mean, yeah, obviously. Ivy, it is your turn. This thing is
Alfred,
looking...
what did you do to my boots?
I didn't know if Talfrin was gonna have a witty comeback or not. I was waiting to roll the dice.
He's distracted, but
That's his
Claudette's very
fetish.
like, what the hell?
Women in sexy magical footwear is Talfrin's thing.
You didn't
All
have
right,
to
so
tell
Ivy's
everyone
gonna-
that. That was just secret.
Ivy's gonna just make three swings with her swords. So the lowest one
And
I
this is-
got.
These are regular magic, or these are non-magical now, right?
Correct.
Cool. Go ahead.
Because she didn't activate. She
That's
thought about
totally
activating
fine.
the blade, but she didn't. So the lowest one I got is an 18 to hit.
That is a hit. Did you get a
Cool,
nat
so-
20 on any of these?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately.
That's
It's
okay.
like, I could have spent inspiration, but I didn't. Okay, so
So, real quick, I need everyone inside of... because of this room, I'm actually going to double this. Everyone in this room is going to... Actually, this table. Everyone in this room needs to make me 3 Constitution saves. You will have advantage because you're hiding behind something.
do I roll my damage first or no?
Roll your damage first.
Okay. Do. Sorry. Do you want me to split them up between lightning and? Oh wait, no, the lightning's gone.
Lightning's gone.
Bye. I forgot to reactivate that. It's fine. But I took 3 attacks.
did.
I did. Gonna be 35 points of damage.
All right. And I need you to make those 3 contacts now. Everybody, your difficulty is 15.
Welp. Ivy got a
pardon
nat
me, your
1
difficulty's
and a
16.
6 and an 11.
Okay.
But
Everybody's
nat
made
one.
their checks. Cool. Who failed?
No.
One.
I failed on one of them, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
that's
very
all
good
it
at
takes.
con.
Ivy, you are going to slam your blade into this, and I got to ask you 2 questions. Number 1, how do you want to do it?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it's like just a bunch of spinning.
It's a bunch of
blades,
spinning metal.
right? All right, so Ivy's gonna basically like take one sword and she's gonna like try and like stab it down through the center and pin it, and then just take the other sword and just like try and, or she's gonna do like try and put them in both, and then she's gonna try and like rip it apart with both swords and just
And
go like.
it is
shoo.
going to just completely rip apart. But as you do, the sound of your blade striking it are going to echo off its harmonic frequency. Everyone who failed that Constitution save is going to be deaf for a minute. As in, you hear doom, whoosh, and you just hear tinnitus ringing.
Ow, my tinnitus!
And it is going to collapse to the ground. And as it does, it dissipates into so many pieces of just random just junk. As it does so, there's going to be tink, 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 and the cartridge at its core is going to roll over between Ivy and Leiden.
Ivy's gonna reach down for it. If Leiden doesn't make like a
Nah.
jump for it, Ivy will go and pick it up.
Okay.
Kinda
It
look at
looks like a weapon cartridge.
Is it a certain color?
Sort of. It's kind of bluish white, like not a cold type of light, more like a
So it doesn't look like the one that she has. That's the cold damage. It looks different than that.
looks different. This looks like more. I'm gonna say it's actually green because I don't think. Well, damn, what color is this? I'm gonna say it's kind of like a pulsing gray. Now that seems like it would be thunder.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I was just gonna guess
okay,
thunder.
What color is force damage?
Oh, I would say
Oh,
like
fuck.
purple. I
You'd say
don't know
purple?
why, but like a light purple kind of
Yeah.
makes me feel like it.
Sure, we're gonna say purple then. We'll go with purple.
Oh, it matches Ivy's hair.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That's how I think of magic missile, and that's force damage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna pick it up, and it is sized for any weapon. But you're like,
She'll like hold it up and very obviously, and just like she'll motion to just put it in her bag, being like, I'm gonna take this if anyone wants it. But like she's gonna basically just like very obviously show it around and just put it that she has it. So if anyone wants it.
Shrug. Leiden shrugs and looks back up at the wall of. Yeah.
Vary's gonna go
Barrier.
investigate the remains of the thing.
it is a bunch of junk. Looks like mining equipment. Like there's part of a drill blade in there. There's like a pocket knife. This is a weird thing, but it does
Is
give
there
you some
anything of like remote value at all?
inside of it. Mostly just that core that Ivy pocketed,
Okay.
which is a pretty dope thing actually. Claudette, as you're over on the table, your boots are going to continue to glow for a moment before slowly stabilizing, right around the time your hearing comes back.
Okay. So basically, the effect ends.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. She's gonna kind of look around and then test them out and try and jump a little bit.
Yes, so while wearing these boots, your walking speed becomes 30 feet unless your walking speed is higher. Your speed will never be reduced if you are encumbered or wearing heavy armor. In addition, your jumping is 3 times normal.
Okay.
But you cannot jump further than your remaining movement would allow.
Okay.
These are now permanently boots of springing and striding because Talfrin rolled create a random magic item within 30 feet.
Cool.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So 75 is great.
Wild.
75 is great. 175 sucks. It's destroy
Oh,
a
okay.
magic item.
Oh no.
And I was like,
I mean, unless that creature was a magic item. Oh.
yeah.
All right.
So that was
Cool.
dope.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So the jumping thing will be useful. I think my speed is already 30, so
Yeah, it's really good for heavier characters. Like get
Does
some of these.
it affect anything? It doesn't affect if your speed goes higher, right?
No,
Sweet.
No.
Because I do go up to 40 with
it
lights
defaults to the highest speed available.
on. Okay.
This is what Mars used to jump out of the giant's hand in Shards and Urn. She has a pair of these,
Nice.
so that's how she didn't get immolated to death.
And also that's how when we were fighting the mechanical spider, Xeno was able to just go like from rooftop to rooftop.
Oh yeah, because they were originally the ones that Farah gave, right?
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
Gotcha.
And with that, a little bit of peace and quiet returns to this room. What do you all do?
That was pretty fun.
Still working?
Why don't we not
Interesting.
tap on things that are tapping back this next time?
Well, you got a cool little thing there.
Well, I was gonna go look at.
Yeah, if anyone wants, I think it's
barrier.
kind of cool purple. I kind of like the purple, but if anyone wants the cold one back, I wouldn't mind. Someone can have this cold.
I mean, I think I'm out, so I'd be down to have
Yeah,
another
sure.
one.
Here, take the cold one.
Your blade is
Yes.
still glowing right now, and it will for the next 10 minutes.
Oh no, uncharge. Can I uncharge it? Can I
Yeah,
flip
you can
it
shut
back?
it off prematurely.
Oh yeah. Oh.
All
Well,
right,
maybe
so-
not. Well, maybe not.
Would he
If I
think...
turn this off, oh no, he would just turn it off actually.
All right, so you'll hear
Turn it off.
ka-chunk, and it'll eject an empty cartridge out the side.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Well, now I know. He'll plunk the other one in because it didn't go off right away.
Okay, you can pick that up and potentially refill that at a filling station.
Perfect. Let's do
Is the
that.
purple one full, or is it partly
The purple one is full.
Oh, sweet.
I'm gonna have to find a way to get something like that to work in one of my weapons.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It seemed to work really well against whatever that was.
Did I originally, just real quick, since this is a system we've designed for this game, did I originally say that it worked in minute increments or 10-minute increments? Did I say 10-minute increments?
10-minute.
I
10
don't
minute
know.
increments.
I think that's what I've
pretty
always
sure.
said, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Basically, like an hour's. There's like an hour's worth of time in a charge, but you can
Yeah,
like
but
10.
you can only do it in 10-minute
Oh,
increments. Yeah,
gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, it depends because my first one was once a day for 1 minute.
Was it? Okay.
Turns sword into +1. So that was a magic cartridge that I originally got from the armory.
Okay. I think
And
we'll go with
then
the-
the
we'll go with
fire
the-
cartridge was 6 charges each plus 10 minute.
Okay. Then those will be the +2s that are the 10-minute ones. Okay.
Okay.
It's a system we're designing on the fly. Don't worry, we'll publish it. It'll be good. All right. Is anyone doing anything else here?
General investigation of the room.
Sure.
Uh,
You can make me an investigation roll.
yeah, like just basically, like, is there anything that Very could use for building something or like anything of that kind of value?
Give me a check.
That's gonna be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
23. Looking around the room, and what are you, Leadin? Are you trying to do something with Very? Okay. Looking around the room, Very, you're going to see that kind of over near where you were hiding, on top of a very large bookshelf, looks like there's a modulator that you would need to use in the machine in the previous room to get it running. One of the 3 parts you need. However, unfortunately, it's on top of a very high shelf.
So Very's gonna be like, and like jump a little bit, and then she's gonna call Crux over, and be like, Crux, and he's gonna come, wheel, 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 and he's gonna fly on top and pick it up.
All right. So yes, you now have a modulator.
and deposit it in Very's hand, and then proceed to perch on top of her head.
That's gonna give her an awful, awful headache.
Well, he's just gonna float there.
Okay.
I guess.
It's like, that's not a very comfortable hat.
It's true.
It's like a bowling ball on your head. Like, it's...
Oh, he is surprisingly lightweight.
It's because he's made of
Ivy's
flesh.
going back to the barrier.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think Leadin's very interested in it,
Okay.
though she doesn't know what to do with it because, yeah,
What do
perhaps
we-
with fresh eyes.
What do?
Do you know anything about this? And she'll look at it.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic. Magic wall.
Barrier of some sort. We're trying to figure out... Well, I'm trying to figure out how to dispel it.
Dispel magic. It's a spell.
Does anyone have that? Or a scroll?
Claudette's going to look at it, and I think it was said that it would probably be a really hard dispel magic.
It would probably be a contested roll, yeah.
I mean, I can try. I'd have to do it, I believe, as a... Oh, no, I do have it.
Nice.
Have it prepared.
Okay. You can't do it as a ritual anyway, but yeah, so...
Okay, well, I couldn't remember it, because Detect Magic is a ritual.
So I need you to make me an intelligence check.
Okay. Is an int check like a save where you apply your proficiency?
I'm sorry?
Would you apply proficiency or just the modifier?
You don't add your proficiency to
Okay.
knowledge. Let me double check that.
I just wondered because
equals-
if I'm proficient in intelligence.
No, you're only proficient on the save.
Okay, I wasn't sure because they say it kind of weird in the book, so I wasn't sure how that works exactly. But it's a dirty 20.
All right, dirty 20. You are going to summon up your magical energies into your hand, press them against the door, and with a triumphant sound of shattering glass, you are going to dispel it, revealing a large set of double doors ahead of you. As you are looking around, you're looking for other stuff that you can loot in this room. What's
Yeah,
Talfrin
basically.
doing?
He was basically like kind of going towards the barrier, but kind of eyes to the ground. We're like really trying to see if he can find any more of those things that are apparently kicking around.
Sure.
They're pretty sweet. He likes them very much. He's pretty focused on that. He's
Okay.
not good at investigation though.
All right. So, Very and Talvern, you're not finding much more in this room, but in front of you,
That's fine.
the barrier suddenly shatters, which shifts your attention northward.
Oh. Well, I get the good job. Well, there we go. Let's go.
Thank you.
Very and the bun will move towards that side of the room and regroup, I guess.
All right. Who's opening the door?
I mean, Leden's gonna step forward now that it's cleared.
The door
With
begins
a-
opening as soon as you are within touching range of it.
Nice.
She's got her
That's
hand
convenient.
reaching out towards the handle and be like, oh,
It slides
just-
open,
slowly put her hand back down.
disappearing into the walls behind it, and you will...
I'm surprised that another Imperial Magus couldn't open this.
And that will be answered as soon as you step through, for it looks like this must have reset itself, because on the other side you'll see a pair of statues flanking a large rectangular room with two stairwell doors leading off, one to the left and to the right. Another one of these tanks is in front of you, and a bunch of siphoning tubes leading up around the side of a doorway. Actually, two flanking doorways to the north, large and open. There are a pair of crates on the right that just kind of have been abandoned there by previous occupants. And as you approach, you'll see that one of them has a very sternly stenciled warning label on it.
Ooh, does it say anything?
Yeah, it says box of Vorpal squirrels. Keep out. Do not touch. Do not stick any appendages. This means you, Frank.
I wonder what appendage Frank was sticking in that.
If I poke it with a sword, what happens?
Okay.
Dead.
Where do you have a sword?
Yeah, she has a sword.
So there's a little gap in the containment field, like inside of the crate. But inside, all you'll see is, and for those of you who are watching this later, someone paid for me to say this using channel points. So I'm gonna run with this, even though it's a serious game. So sticking your blade inside of it, there's a little gap, but inside is nothing but shadow. And as you stick your blade inside, can you make me a strength save?
Yes, I can. Ooh, yes, I actually can.
Okay.
I don't add anything to it, but that's a 19.
19? Okay. So you're going to feel a sudden pull, and it tries to pull your hand into the hole behind the sword. You are going to pull back and hear, as you pull back, a hilt. It sounds like a pencil sharpener on the inside there for a moment, and then a bunch of iron filings are going to fire out the back.
I feel like that warning should not be focused on Paul, but on Soul Stars.
I was just...
You poked the box that said, take care.
Well... I think it's been here long enough.
Well, that's neat.
Well, apparently. Still
Okay,
pretty-
so maybe don't
touch the box of.
touch the box.
I mean, we could lob the box at something else, and hopefully it would just.
Oh,
attack
we
that.
could pop the box.
No.
Thinking here.
Can we just leave the box alone?
We're thinking
Yes.
here.
Oh god, I actually
Alright.
have something for this, by the way. Give me one sec.
Okay.
What?
Y'all
Squirrel
think
grenade? Squirrel grenade?
y'all think you can keep me off guard, and the chat included, but you can't.
I'm gonna just take the sword off of my equipment list.
Just giving this wide berth and going around the other side and
Yeah,
exploring
see?
this room. She's looking at this thing closer to the center.
Okay. Rounding the
Yeah.
corner, what you're going to see is an immense chamber in front of you. You'll find what looks like a highly sophisticated siphon pump around the side. Something specific, but something incredibly high tech, incredibly potent, and it's at the same point actually quite old. You'd say that this is decades old, but still fairly high technology. Now, the room in front of you, you're standing at the top of a stairwell landing. Two sets of stairs on the east and west head down into what looks like a prayer room. You'll see an altar, as well as various bits of, well, abandoned gear, equipment. And at the far wall, a statue rises up. Even those of you without the ability to see at this range are going to be able to make out its features. It's impossible to say exactly what the person that you're looking at is. Their form is androgynous. Long hair frames the face. If you had to guess, you'd say that perhaps they're more feminine, but the form is completely neutral. A pair of beautiful, well, what you would assume are beautiful eyes are wrapped in cloth. The figure in front of you is blind. In each hand, they hold a tablet. They're not nude, but the clothing they're wearing is sheer marble. Clings to the form, revealing the thin, gaunt figure of someone who does not eat or sleep as much as they should. As you look closer, you will see that this figure is flanked by two... Well, it was flanked by two statues. To the right is a place where it looks like a statue of a door, like the one on the left there, used to stand but has been removed. You can see places where industrial equipment have drilled it and cut it away from the floor. On the left is a large door made of ivory. No silver, no platinum? Marble. It seems to shift in your perceptions. Whatever it is, the door is made of light-colored material. The one on the right... I would like everyone to make me a history roll, please, if you have been to the capital only, and really been to the capital.
I think so.
Maybe?
Probably.
Probably with the Belmont family?
Yes, you would be able to roll this.
Okay.
I don't know if Ivy would have really.
Then I would not roll.
Yeah.
Very isn't paying attention. She's looking at the siphon pump.
14 here.
14? Okay, and Claudette.
24.
You've seen this before, Leiden. But Claudette, this is inside of the Imperial Palace. Like, not that one, not the broken one. You can see that the door that is erected on the left is shattered down the middle, cracked and useless. But the obsidian door is a statue that was moved from Vex Nergali. It sits inside of the palace right now. A symbol of the Empire's conquest. It's an amazing reflective surface, like an obsidian mirror that you can look into, and it seems to reflect all nature of things. It was paraded through when you were a child. You're not sure where it is now, but it's somewhere in the capital. Apparently, it was a magical relic that was seized from a heathen temple.
Looking at this one, putting the clues together from the door is like, well, I guess that was the infernal one.
Leiden, the door in front of you hums. As you're the closest one to it, you will hear soft whispering coming from the other side. Not threatening. Encouraging.
Over at Ivy, who's nearby.
Ivy, you hear nothing.
Leiden.
Leiden.
Leiden's gonna step forward.
Leiden, come here. Come to us.
You don't hear that?
No. Leiden.
Hello?
And Ivy's gonna take like concerned steps towards Leiden.
And Leiden's gonna step right up towards this thing, and she's listening. Because I think she's rather fixated on this.
Come home. Come home to us.
Is it in common or celestial? Or does it matter?
It is not in a language.
Okay.
You feel this inside of your mind. Or perhaps deeper. Come home.
You don't hear it?
No.
They are coming.
What's coming?
From beyond the stars, they have found you.
What? And she's gonna reach out to the door because
Okay.
gotta touch it.
Sounds good. Can you do me a
Yeah.
favor? Can I
Yeah.
get you to make me a charisma save, please?
Sure. That's gonna be a 26.
A 26? Okay, fantastic. Let me just see if I can beat that. Cannot with the d20. Okay, you are going to touch the door, Leiden, and as you do, Leiden's skin is going to start glowing. You're going to see her veins start to be visible. Her very blood is going to glow through her flesh. And without attempting to, you are going to activate your ASMR form. Your wings are going to explode out of your back, and your eyes are going to roll up into your head. And as you are standing there, they're going to be glowing with a soft white light. No, they didn't roll up. They vanished. Your pupils dissolved into the light.
Leiden? Leiden?
And all around you, you will all hear a simple sound of a baby crying. It echoes like a phantom inside of the room from all corners. From all corners. The crying of a child. Leiden opens her mouth, and over the din, which suddenly stops the moment that a voice leaves her mouth, but it's not quite hers that leaves. It's deeper, stronger, infinitely commanding. They are coming from the corners. Prepare yourselves. And suddenly, as that occurs, you are all going to hear the most horrifying howls erupt from all angles of this room. Howls that seem to echo and shift across time as they rip into your ears and into your soul. These baying, horrible sounds that overwhelm the entirety of the room, cutting through. What beautiful peace there was here. And as you glance around, you are going to see strange creatures erupt suddenly into view from every right angle that you can see in this room. Pale wolves made of rubbery flesh with tendrils leaking out of their backs explode into the room, attacking you, flying from all angles. And we are going to pick up there next Thursday. We hope that you enjoy and come back for the battle against the Hounds of Tindalos. Yeah, getting some Lovecraft up in this bitch. So, hold on, I have story time for this. I just gotta remember where these guys are. Hounds of Tindalos. Oh, they are on CC. Okay. I have so many...
today was apparently the day of Leiden touching everything.
So, this is what explodes out at you from all corners of the room.
Ooh. Oh, those
Oh, damn.
So they are stepping through the corners of otherwise solid walls. Hairless dog-like creatures clothed in blue ichor relentlessly pursue you and cross dimensional barriers in pursuit of their prey. They leap out at you from every corner of the room, and that is going to be game for the night.
I'll have to let someone else touch all the things next game.
It's fine. They're all celestial. I don't think last time Ivy touched anything celestial, she got
okay,
like
so there's a
half her
corner.
health taken, so
Hold
she doesn't
on.
want to touch things.
Thankfully, the Empire brought me corners, because if you notice, this room was built without corners. So aside from the railings, so the railings are corners, and
Oh, I see, like the curved wall.
yeah, everything in here is curved except for these 2 points right here. However, the Empire brought some corners
Got it.
with them.
Thanks, Empire.
There we go. All right, so that's going to be it for us tonight. Let me swap back over. Whoop. All right, so did you guys have fun with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I love this book. Hounds of
really good.
Tindalos are Lovecraftian horrors, so enjoy.
Cool.
They are legit terrifying, and I was very happy to see them. How are you guys feeling? You guys having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Good.
Just very, very sleepy.
So how many Hurt Them Mores do I have going forward? I have...
Oh, good.
I'm going to say that I spent the Drama Bomb. Hurt Them More. I have 2 going forward, and a Something Good Happens. Okay. That sounds good. All right, so folks, we hope you had a good time tonight, and are you having any idea where the plot is going? I'm curious if you think you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Not really.
All right, cool.
No idea.
Are you having
I know
fun with
I
it?
don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good.
I'm excited to see how everyone kind of
I'm liking the little.
ties in. I like how we found out a lot about Talfrin.
And we're
Getting
getting
some weird vibes from Leiden over there.
I thought it was hilarious because you guys just went there. You technically took the shortcut.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, did we?
I will say, though, that there is plot in the rest of the dungeon as well. So
Yeah,
if you
okay.
wish to learn and investigate some more about what the hell this place was about, you are going to get some big cookies in this room, but the other cookies are spread around.
Yeah.
So you'll get more if you search around, but you'll get some here, so that'll be good. So I hope that everybody had a fantastic time, and we're going to be back next Thursday night instead of Friday because of Mike is away for the weekend. So with that, I look for... It was Thursday, right? It wasn't Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because Saturday's
Thursday.
Mage. Because tomorrow's Mage, guys. Come and watch us play Mage the Ascension of the Victorian Age for the first game. It is going to be fantastic. It's going to make this game look like crap.
Don't say that. I love this game.
Just think of how much you're going to love that game. Anyway, folks, we love you very much. And DM Mike, I hope that was fun because DM Mike had a big hand in this. DM Mike is my holy patron, my what was it, deific patron? I forget the exact term, but he's the top level patron, and that allows you to have basically he helped me create some of the plot for this game. And I hope that Shulton's watching too, because that might factor in sometime soon as well. I hope that you enjoy this. Reminder, on Thursday, that is the end of Act 2 of the Reign of Emrys. So you definitely want to be here for that. It is going to be a thing.
I'm
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hyped.
Also, I'd like everybody to make sure that they are quite... is it just... Yeah, God Patron is the... So, I phrase it a different way. I think I phrase it as Divine Patron in the credits. Because it just sounds cool. But be prepared next episode. Even though it's on a Thursday night, we're probably going to go until around 11-ish. Because I've got a lot to do that night. So we're going to have a very short Let's Chat. And we're going to be like, boom, 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 having fun with it. Okay?
Alrighty.
All right, so great game, everybody. I will see you all later. And for those of you in YouTube or Twitch land or listening on podcast later, if you like what we do here, give us a follow, give us a sub on any free way you can. If you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free. And if you want to support the channel more, you can always give some subs around, or you can go support us on Patreon. And then you get to do cool stuff like design gods and monsters and things like that, and name squirrel boxes. Although that was irrelevant, but that'll come back later. I actually have a monster in one of these books that is the squirrel on Yggdrasil. That thing will kick your ass. That squirrel is lethal. So, for folks, love you very much. Have a fantastic night. We will see you next time on the Reign of Emrys.
Night.